Hey, what's good, everybody? You watching Setting the Record Straight live with Peter Anderson. And today we're going to talk about women can't take criticism. I know this is a topic that some might say, well, Peter, you're not a woman. So why are you doing this topic? Hey, we're gonna talk about it. I have a woman with me to talk about this topic. and let me go ahead and introduce her in Divinity Vinny. Go ahead. What's up, girl? Let them know.
Hola, hola, hola. How are you, Peter,
So go
and
ahead.
everybody else that's out there?
So go ahead, put a plug in. Where can they find you on social media?
Divinity Vinny is my page, and Divinity Vinny Vibes is another page, and I have multiple groups that you can join. Once you find me on Divinity Vinny, then you can check out my group through that way.
Yeah, that's what's up. All right, so let's get into the topic. All right, women can't take criticism. When I first approached you about doing this show, what came in your mind when I sent you the title of what we're gonna talk about?
Yeah, I said, okay, Peter, what are we going to talk about? And when I seen the title, I was like, interesting. It's really interesting. So I was excited about it, and I'm here now. We ready.
So what do you think about that though? What I mean, do you understand where that's coming from? Why I say women can't take criticism?
For men or a criticism in general?
Criticism, period. Period.
Um, I beg to differ on that. I do believe that women can take criticism.
Okay.
I believe the way you present it is the main thing. I also believe at first I thought we was going to be talking about men, criticizing women. So that was a
We
whole
could talk
nother
about
thing.
that too. Go ahead. I mean, if you want to say that, men can't do it, women can, and it's acceptable or whatever, and they can
Well,
take it there.
well, I jotted down a couple of notes because it was really, really interesting. Like I say, when I seen the topic.
Hmm.
So my question was, what causes women to reject criticism from men? And I started thinking, I said, well, sometimes it can be abuse. So maybe they was abused by someone in the
Hmm.
past that was a male figure. I also said, some women is just rebellious. They don't want to listen to nobody. It don't matter who it's coming from, a man, a female, it don't matter. They just have a natural rebellious spirit. And then I also said independence. Independence plays a big part when you're talking about criticism because a lot of women build themselves up so much to the
Mm.
point where when somebody come in and try to criticize them in any way, shape, form, or fashion, it feels like to them that they're being broken back down to where they came from. So they
Mm.
don't allow it. They cage themselves in and void any type of criticism that comes in.
Wow, that's interesting. That's an interesting take. So you gave those, three things. What do you say most women fall under?
In today's time, independence. Independence is very big right now. Most women don't feel like they need anybody. They
Why
don't
do you
feel like
why
they
do you
need
think
a
that?
man
Why do you think they feel like they don't need anybody? Why
because
do you feel that is a rise of the independence?
well, you have the working woman now. You have the
Mm.
woman the working woman, the woman that is coming in and doing her thing just as well as a man is. And so when a woman wake up in the morning and she
Hmm.
feel like she's doing everything that a man can do, she consider herself independent, and then she don't feel like she needs
But
any type of
that's
criticism
that's
coming from a man.
interesting. I just call that being an adult. You get a job, you work up, you pay your bills, you go to work, rinse and repeat. You chill out on the
So,
weekends. That's called being an adult. I
mhm.
don't see anything special about that.
Well, if
especially
you look
in
at
age.
history, if you look at history, you have to see something. Because if you look at your grandmother or your great grandmother and how they lived, they probably wasn't doing what the women are doing these days now. So they was more submissive and more acceptant to criticism. They will correct themselves easier. But once you become this head, it's like you give out the criticism. You don't receive it, you give it out.
I get that. I get that. I mean, it's very interesting because I, I mean, but I get times past, is different,
Hmm.
but in this day and age, waking up, paying your own bills, going to work to pay your own bills, that's nothing special. That's called adulting. Like I don't understand what's so important or what's so special. I should say, other than I'm getting up to work every day and I'm paying my own bills. That's called being an adult. Women have access to the same things that men have access to. Just like a men wake up every day, pay their bills. Women have that
Hmm.
same access to do the same thing. Do we say, "Oh,
Hmm.
we're independent man"? No, we just say we're adulting. We're being adults. We're being responsible. That's all that is. And but women tend to want to put, a badge of respect and honor on top of that, even though it's respectable, just like being an
Hmm.
adult is respectable, but they want to put something extra on top of it as if it's something that nobody else is doing. You see what I'm saying? And that's where I have the pushback. Like,
Teacher.
that's where I have the pushback. Because y'all act like it's not something special other than what everybody else is doing. If you're an adult, you're a responsible adult, you are independently taking care of yourself. So you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I don't get the special treatment. But I think part of it is a coping mechanism. I think
Hmm.
part of it is there's some insecurities there. I think part of it is it's like almost like when somebody says, "Oh, I'm the man, I'm the man." You will think there's some insecurities there in that man. Same thing.
Hmm.
I'm independent. I'm independent. There's some insecurities there. You're just
Hmm.
adulting. A man saying, "I'm the man, I'm the man." No, you're just being a man. Why you gotta say it all the time? You see what I'm saying? There's maybe some insecurities there. And so when
Teacher.
men see that, that kind of repels men from approaching that kind of woman because we were like,
Hmm.
there's some insecurities there without even me even having a conversation with that woman.
Hmm.
So it's either one, the man is gonna approach just to because the woman is beautiful and
Hmm.
they just want one thing, or
Hmm.
men are going to not approach. And that's where you see the rise of dudes, of women that are saying that they're independent, that there's no good men out there because all that's approaching them are dudes that are just wanting that one thing. You see what I'm saying? So it's like
Hmm.
the dudes that are not approaching you that you want. So of course they're all going to be bad. So that's my take on this whole independent, and culture that is just adulting. It's called adulting as a woman. That's it.
So, teacher, I want to take you back. You said
Hmm.
you don't see anything special because men don't, they don't jump up and say, "Hey, I'm independent." Men
Hmm.
have been providers since the beginning. They have been the providers. Women hasn't always been that form of providing. You see what I'm saying? They haven't always been that form. They have always been the helper, but it's transition to now they're not just being the provider, they're being the provider and the helper, some of them. And some men are as well. But speaking on women, this is where its independence come in at because before they wasn't doing it. Like for me, I wasn't raised to see um a woman doing everything that a man does. That's
Hmm.
not how I was raised. So maybe that's why I have that take on it, like in that form.
Well, I think what women who were in times past who were married and in a successful relationship, because let's be honest,
Mhm.
just because a woman is an adult don't mean
Mhm.
she knows how to do relationships, and vice versa don't mean that that man knows how to do relationships. So a lot of times we say
Absolutely.
men are trash, and men will say women are no good women, maybe because that person doesn't know how to do good, have a good relationship. They don't have
Mhm.
interpersonal relationship skills. They don't have good communication skills, so that you just
Mhm.
pass it off on the other person. Oh, the person don't, they don't know how to talk. Well, you don't make it warm enough for them to talk.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's
Mhm.
women in times past, they put emphasis on relationship. That's why they were good at relationship and everything like that.
Mhm.
That's what reason why they were good with at relationships, because of that. Because they
Right.
worked on relationships. They made it their business to be good at relationships. I think women today, men alike, we're not good at relationships. But then
Right.
here's the key though. Women are the ones screaming, men are trash. These dudes ain't ish. This is what you see in plenty of echo chambers. Dudes are not on a high scale just saying, oh, none of these women are good. You just say you literally have whole pages and channels dedicated to just dogging men and saying they're trash, they're no good, there's no good men, all of them are dogs. That's all I've been hearing even all my life. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
is it the communication skills? Is it the relationship skills? Half of the time women can't even get along with each other. That's why you have a rise in this culture of reality TV, Housewives of Atlanta, hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of women arguing and bickering with each other,
Mhm.
and then they turn around and turn to men, and men get along with each other. They're talking with each other. They
Mhm.
might have a little scuffle. After that, they back good. They cool. They back friends again. We
Okay.
handle our business. But then you see a rise of women who just bicker. So is it really the men that have poor relationship skills?
So I want to ask you this: when you
Mm-hmm.
speak on that, are we mostly talking about the black woman?
Well, I mean, we could talk about women in general, because white women have a bunch of reality TV too that they bicker and fight with each other. But
Mhm.
usually when it's crazy because the minorities get it the worst. When you see something
Mhm.
bad in men in general, the black men get
Mhm.
it the worst, have it the worst.
Right.
When you see something in the women, black women have it the worst. So yeah,
Mhm.
I mainly do talk about our black community, but it goes for women in general. But yeah,
Okay.
it's a
Well,
problem with us
I
too.
want I want to touch on the black women first.
Hmm.
I think the black women lost faith in the black man,
Why?
and the reason I say that is because black women for so long was so loyal to the black man, regardless of whether they argued, fussed, whatever happened. They stuck with the black man.
What year was this? What
It
year
was
did they stick
a
with?
few
Did they
years.
stick?
It was I'm not gonna say 100%, but
No, no,
the
what
majority
year?
of black women,
What year was this? Let's date it. Let's date.
a few. I'm not gonna put an exact date, but a few years back, it was like that, and before then, it was like that. The black
Okay.
woman loved her black man,
Did she?
but the black man, yes, she did.
Or did
I
she
have this
say, or
conversation.
did she give lip service? Because guess what? Let me put this in there, and I'm gonna let you
Mhm.
continue.
Mhm.
What happened? See, a lot of people. This is a real deep thing, and this ain't for everybody. Everybody's not gonna
Mhm.
catch this the first time.
Okay.
What people got to understand is that black women cashed in black men a long time ago for the white man's check. You know where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
The white man said, hey, if you get these brothers out your house, these black men out your house, oh, we'll make sure you straight and your baby straight. Literally, to have a government assistance, you had to not have a man in the house.
That's true.
So they got rid of their men and cashed in those men as if they're only good for a paycheck. They cashed in those
Unknowingly.
men and they took the money from the white man. So guess who's their baby daddy now? The white man. And guess
Mm-hmm.
who's still perpetuating racism against the black man, the hatred and disdain against the black man? The black woman. White men don't have to do nothing but just give them a check and they're gonna carry on the racism. So
Unknowingly.
they giving lip service? Yes, of course they want the black man, because hey, the whole world can't get enough of black men. Sorry, that's just the truth.
Exactly. That's my point,
Lip
Peter.
service.
Listen, no, Peter, no lip service. I am a woman. I have had many conversations with women on how much
Mhm.
they love the black man, how they was hurt by when the black man went out and got every other woman but the black woman. This was really, really big for like 3 years. Like the black woman was trying to gain the attention of the black man back. It's my turn, Peter. It's my turn. Now, listen. The black woman really, really wanted her black man and tried hard, and they kept going that way, left, right, east, west. It didn't matter.
Can I respond to
And
that?
not yet. And
Uh,
what happened was the black woman had to adapt to the ways of every other woman in order to gain the attention back for her black man. That is very true. That is true, Peter. I'm telling you, it's true.
Hey, let's go back to life, back to reality. Let's go. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Because
Run it back, then. Run it
because the
back.
problem is this though. We have. I get what you're saying, but
hmm
it didn't happen in the order that you're saying it. The
Maybe not
issue
the
is this:
order.
the black men for the longest have been telling women the game, telling women what we want. We couldn't do it
hmm
on a major scale. We had to do it subtly.
hmm
Black women said, no, I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna do what I want to do. We say we want women with natural hair. Guess what black women do? We say we want women with natural features. Guess what black women do? They just
hmm
ignore us, and then we say, and so they get upset when we're not getting our quote unquote needs met. We go somewhere else because guess what? The black man is highly recommended. And but the
Highly
problem is this.
recommended.
Hold on. Yeah, you're right. The problem is this though, because the black man is highly recommended, the black
hmm
woman is a little jealous because she's not highly recommended.
Absolutely.
She might be secondly recommended, thirdly recommended, but she ain't highly recommended. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, but if you still look at the statistics today,
hmm
84% of black men are married to black women. 84% of men that are married to black women. We're not talking about others where you have, brown women and then white women. That's a whole different story. But still, the
Hmm.
high majority of black men love black women. But the problem
Hmm.
is the reason why we're not rushing to get married to black women, because black women are saying, "Take me as I am. I don't need to change. I'm gonna be myself." And I'm. You see what I'm saying? And we're just like, no, but we have to change. Yes, black men know we have to change. We make some change. We made some changes within the last 20, 30 years. Black women are
hmm
refusing to change themselves. So guess what we doing?
Absolutely.
Do we want legacy? We want children? Guess what
Uh
happens?
huh.
We got somebody that would do it. Black women don't even want to do certain things when they get married sexually to black men. So do black men say, hey,
Absolutely.
let me just stay there with the black lady? Or do I say,
hmm
hey, man, I'm highly recommended. I am high prize on the market. Do I just sit here and waste away, or do I go make my lineage with somebody else that will cherish me, that will say, hey, I will change these things for you, black man? Why would we do that? You wouldn't do. Women wouldn't do that. So why do you expect a black man to
Peter,
do it?
Peter. Peter, the black woman, yes, she, all those things you was listening, some of them are correct. But the black woman still chose the black man.
They,
And
they
the
almost
black
have no
man,
choice. They almost have no choice. They have no choice.
well,
They
I
no
can't
men. There's not other men rushing to get with black women. That's the problem. They try to say, "Oh, like y'all doing black men a favor." There other races of men are not rushing to go with
that's
black
true.
women, so
I'll,
they
I'll
don't
I'll
have
give
no
you that.
choice but to have black. And even though we have choices, we have more choices because we highly recommend
Hmm.
it. We still
Hardly.
love our black women.
Do you?
We do. 84% of the people that's
Do
married, black
you,
men that's married,
Peter?
is with.
Who who created that statistic that you're talking about,
What do you
Peter?
mean? It's done by the census. Go to
Oh,
black
okay.
demographics by black people for black people demographics.
Okay.
It's called
Okay. I get you.
blackdemographics.com. Trust me. Look, hey, I go to the source.
I get you.
Census,
I get
they
you.
know who married to who. People papers
Right.
are filed with the government. We know who's who.
Right.
You see what I'm saying when it comes to that.
Right.
So these are not no case studies that I'm talking about. This is actually
I'm making.
data.
Hey, I'm making sure. I'm making sure. I'm checking
Right.
for the people. I'm checking for my women, my black women out there because
But
you
see,
guys, y'all, the black men really fell off and just went haywire. They went every which way they could go. And
but
now you're
what you
seeing
expect?
woman. The black woman is starting to be accepted now. The black woman is being accepted now.
A certain
My
type of black
my
woman. But go ahead.
personal I was gonna say my personal experiences may be a lot different from, other women, but they are being accepted. It's, more than they were before. And let me go back what you were saying. Hold
But see the thing about it, why you looking that up? Look, before the things that black women are willing to do now to be chosen by another race of man is the same
on.
thing
That's
that
what.
black men have been asking
Mhm.
for this whole time.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
some black women are willing to change up for the white man or for a Hispanic man or for some other kind of man. But you can't comply with what we were saying with the whole time, the same exact thing. And that's the problem.
Right.
So do we
Right.
strive and fight and fuss and fight with each other? Or do we say, hey man, I want kids, I want family, I want generations. The black
Mhm.
women ain't listening to us. They don't care about us. We can't tell them nothing. So guess what? I'm gonna go to a woman I can tell something to. We can work together. You can't be
Woo!
in a
Pizza,
partnership.
pizza,
You can't be
pizza.
in a corporation and you're the
Mhm.
CEO and nobody is listening to you. The corporation
Mhm.
ain't gonna work. So guess what?
Right.
The black man is gonna go to a place and get people and hire people that will listen to him. And so that's what's
Right.
happening. It's the sad part about it is that it's not the men's fault. In this case, it's the woman's fault. Every time a black man marries another race of woman, we women should be saying,
Wait a
dang,
minute.
we lost
What?
another one. Don't say
Uh-uh.
they lost another one. We lost another one.
Mm-mm. We're not gonna blame that only on the black woman.
It's
Now
not it's
listen,
not the black man's fault. They just going
now
to go be happy.
granted that the black woman was not willing to do a lot of things that other women were doing. Absolutely. They was raised different. I
Right.
believe, my personal belief is black women is more spiritual. And so they had a lot more boundaries back then. Now they just doing what everybody's doing because they trying to win the attention of the black man back. Now the black man is calling the black woman this, that, everything you can think of. But when you look at them, their eyes is glued to the same woman that's doing with the woman that's doing the same things that they don't want the black woman to do. So, Peter, why is that? Why is the black man looking at everything else that they don't want the
Be
black woman to do?
because of this. What black women have to understand is that
Mhm.
because we look at something doesn't mean we will love and cherish something. Just because we look at something doesn't mean that we respect what that something is doing. We can watch a movie about killing and drug dealing and backbiting and cheating, and we can look at movies like that, but don't mean that we respect that lifestyle. We can watch it, we can be entertained by it, but doesn't mean that we say, oh, we gonna go forward and do that. See, what black women have to understand is that black men are not a monolith. We are human
Mm-hmm.
beings. We put on pants just like every other man on this God's green earth.
Mm-hmm.
All we need for black women to know is, can you get on a black man's program? Can you even listen or take any suggestions that we are saying? We want to wife you. We will go play with somebody else, but we want to wife you. And all we saying is, hey, this is what you have to do to be wife. We literally give you a roadmap to, hey, this is how you get wife, black woman. But they saying, no, we gonna do what we want to do. And you say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, go about your business then. And then you go through your whole life as a black man finding these women. I'm gonna do what I want to do. You can't tell me nothing. You ain't my daddy. I'm like, I'm not trying to be your daddy. I could do you just like daddy, like Tupac said, but I ain't trying to be your daddy. But see, it's always this shame and insults and guilt. That's all we getting. So guess what? We gonna go somewhere where we can maintain our peace. And other women say, oh, black man, your sisters ain't, they peeping game. Your sisters ain't doing what you asked. That's all you asked of us, of women, just these two things. They're not willing to do that. We're willing to do that. Come on, black man. And they enticing us. And guess what? We going. Why not? If women had that option, they would have been left, black man. They would have been left. Big goal.
Okay. Okay, Peter, give me three things that you feel that a black woman is not meeting for the black man.
I'm gonna say people ain't gonna like it. Fit, feminine, submissive, and childless. Those are four things. Fit, feminine, submissive, and childless. We're
Mm-hmm.
not saying that because you have children, you can't get nobody. We're not saying that. We're not saying because you ain't fit, you can't get nobody. We're not saying that. We're not saying because you are not submissive that somebody won't entertain that BS. We're not saying that. What we're saying is this is our general things that men are looking for in a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that?
Mm-hmm.
And see, this is the thing. Do you know that men, when they looking for a mate, they look at someone, that's why they want to see the natural beauty, because they want to know what this person's child will be like, what their children will be like. Men think about this stuff. Women might not
Mm-hmm.
know this because they ain't been listening, but we think about this stuff. We also think about, hey, if we know when you have a baby, it takes a toll on your body. So what do you look like? We imagine what you look like 20 to 30 pounds extra. We
Mm-hmm.
look at stuff like that. We calculate stuff like that, but black women are not listening. We're not saying that we don't like women with with hips. We're not saying we don't like something to grab onto. We just saying, hey, be mindful of that. This will put you in the game. It put you in the game. If you want to play in a sport and you're on riding the bench, so to speak, what is the best way to get put in the game? Work. Show what you can do in practice. Show what you could do in the weight room. Show what you can
Got it.
do when you're around your other teammates, and that you cultivate excellence. That everywhere you go, excellence and high praise is going everywhere you go. That's how you get
Okay.
put in the game. But black women saying, no, I should be getting bench. I should be able to sit on the bench and get starter money. I should be able to sit on the
Okay.
bench and get star
Mm-hmm.
money. No, and the man say,
Okay.
no, you ain't listening.
Right. Okay. So you've given us those four things, and I think that for a younger generation, let's talk
Mhm.
about the mature crowd, the ones that
Okay.
already have children, the
Right.
ones that is not going to be your itty bitty petite because they have already had children.
Right.
Like, give me something for the more mature crowd. Let's say 30 and up. What are the criteria that a black man is looking for from a black woman?
We're still looking for the rest. We're still looking for, you got children, so you can take that off the list. But those other three
Mhm.
things, submissive,
Mhm. Mhm.
We're looking for submissiveness. We're looking
Mhm.
for fitness,
Mhm.
and we're looking for what was the fourth thing? Femininity. We're looking for
Mhm.
femininity still. We know that we have it rough because you have children, and sometimes you got
Mhm.
to put on, fake masculinity to try to correct your sons and daughters. I get it. We understand that. I understand that. I get that you have to
Woo!
be
Peter, you need a
everything for
whooping.
everyone. You got to be. I understand that. I'm being honest. I understand because you had the same women that they would change the deepness of their voice. Get up, get down there. Why you sitting there like that? Get down. And women
Right.
would do that to mask masculinity in the home. So I get all that.
Mhm.
But just
Mhm.
like Tupac said, a thug dude in the house now you can rest. You see what I'm saying? And that's what
Right.
men want to do. They want to be able to come in, and if they're going to, I'm telling you this right now, if
Mhm.
they're going to take on the responsibility of someone else's child, black women, women in general, you
Mhm.
have to be a hell of a woman. You have to make an offer that man can't refuse. You
Mhm.
literally have to say, you literally have to sell yourself in this kind of way. Why would I skip up a woman that's childless to come to you with children? And I gotta take my resources and spend it on your children that you made with somebody else that you weren't willing to marry, or you say that wasn't marriageable. You have to
Okay.
be a hell of a woman. I'm just being honest.
Really?
This is pure honesty. You
Really?
you have to literally have those three things. There are classes you can take. How serious do you want this? Do you it's like how serious you have to show them that you're serious. And last but not least,
Mhm.
if you're with a woman that has a baby, that has
Mhm.
babies in some
Mhm.
cases, can that man discipline that baby without as if it was his own? A lot of women will say no. And
Mhm.
that's therein lies the problem. I can't be in no house. Men ain't willing to be in a house where they can't say something to children in the house
Okay.
that they're
Let me
paying
jump
for.
in
Go
because I
ahead.
gotta get a break in between. You be going to five subjects, and I be trying to catch you. So, um, let's go back to hey, where was that? Women. Wait,
Older women,
hold on.
women that
Yeah,
already have
older
children and stuff.
women. Yeah, I forgot what you were saying, but it'll come back to me. But yeah, so you're saying basically in so many words that the man prefers a weaker woman than what the black woman is portraying right now.
No, I'm saying that what women are calling weak is actually strength. What women being submissive is the strongest thing you can actually do. It's like when somebody gets in an argument with somebody. The weakest thing you can do is argue back with them. The easiest thing you could do is argue back with them. The hardest thing to do is not to. The hardest thing is to turn the other cheek and go about your business and not fight that person. That's strength. But see, black women have tried to manipulate and try to do a big con on whole society and on especially on their men, as if we don't understand what's actually strength and what's actually weakness. A man
No,
that has
Peter.
self-control is actually is stronger than a man that doesn't have
Self
self-control.
control, yes. Self control,
Right.
yes. But to just basically be quiet, no, that can be a conversation. That don't have to be an argument.
No,
You can still have a
nobody
conversation.
said be quiet. I was giving that as an example. What I'm saying is, in general, even all
Mhm.
relationships, people that you walk across, you go in the street with, like, what is strength? If somebody crosses you wrong way in the street, the strength is to use self-control and restrain yourself and walk away. That's strength. Some people will call it weakness. That's what black women are doing, calling that weakness and trying to say, oh, me going into and fighting that person back, that's strength. I'm strong. I'm strong. I can do it. That's not
Not
strength.
all.
That's weak. And
Not
so,
all.
so black women are trying to say, hey, us going back and forth and yelling with you, that's strength. I'm just a strong woman. No, that's not a strong woman. That's a weak woman. Let's be honest.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
That's a
not.
that's a weak woman. You don't do
Absolutely
that at the
not.
boss. You a boss will see you at the job. You don't be cussing out the boss at the job because
Right.
you use
Yelling and
restraint and
screaming,
you
I
use
get
strength.
you. Mhm.
You strength. Nobody's saying that you can't speak or nothing like that. We're not talking about
Mhm.
that. We're just saying I'm using it as an example. What is
Okay.
actual strength? Using self-control, saying
Self
something that
control.
saying something that you don't have to say. That saying want to say something that you don't have to say and don't say it. That that is strength. But the opposite is what black women are trying to say is strength. They're trying to say, hey, if I got something, I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna tell them, ha ha. I don't care if it hurt, help, and it's gonna damage our relationship. I'm strong. See, you can't take, and then the guy walk away from that. Oh, you can't take a strong woman. No, this ain't strength. This is weak, and that's what I'm
So
saying. Women are trying to portray what is actually weak as strength, and vice versa. They
and
saying women
criticism.
that are submissive are weak. Women that have self control are weak. Women
No,
that know how to
no.
take on leadership and follow leadership are weak. That's what women are
No.
trying to say, and men are not buying it, and that's why they're getting the
No.
outcomes that they're getting.
Criticism. No, no. Mm-mm. I don't think that women feel the majority of women feel that way. I don't think that they think all those things
All we need
that
is
think they're
fifty-one
weak.
percent to
I
be the
think
majority.
I think that women is just like I said before. They love their black man. They want the respect from their black man too. They
Okay.
want the respect from their black man. This is why you made a black man is strong. I mean, the reason why other race may be able to get by with them because they're like you said they're more submissive, but you're coming from the same backgrounds a lot of times as black men and black women. So of course everybody's being built strong in that community. Look where the black community come from. Look how they had to grow as a people throughout history. So of course we're all kind of built strong, but the women is really just searching back for the attention of the black man. But I wanted to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
did you think um, the financial status plays a part in any of this?
What do you mean?
As far as women being able to accept criticism.
Well, there's a lie that's going around in the black community that as if black women make more than black men, and that's false. So
Mhm.
most black women are not making more than black men. Even some women with associate's degrees are not making dudes that are men that are coming out of high school. So even though y'all feel like y'all making some money now, y'all y'all smelling yourselves, y'all feeling yourselves. I get it. I understand that. I
Yeah,
understand that. That's what's happening
yeah.
right now. And I think because when a woman is feeling themselves, they feel like
Mhm.
no one could tell them anything. And that's women too. If a woman thinks she's right, there's nothing that a woman or a man can tell them. Sorry.
Hmm.
She thinks she's right. And so they listening to these echo chambers of women that are
Mhm.
giving wrong information. Shout out to
Mhm.
DJ Big Chris. Appreciate it, bro. And women are
Mhm.
feeling like they they feeling like they making more money than men, so they smelling themselves now. You see what I'm saying? So I
Mhm.
understand the attitude behind that. Black men are seeing the attitude behind that, and they saying, "Do I want to get behind that?" No, the only getting behind that is the other thing that that we want. That's the only time we go get behind that. And what's happening is that's what's the problem. We have a big
Hmm.
problem with women getting into these incorrect echo chambers,
Mhm.
and they getting they it's like they're getting riled up for incorrect information. No,
Hmm.
black women don't make more than black men. Go to
Oh yeah,
go
I think
go
I've seen you say that
black
before.
demographics. Yep, blackdemographics.com, made by black people for black people, using the US Census Bureau information.
So what I'm asking is, do you feel like that uh, a wealthy woman versus a middle class woman versus a woman quote unquote getting it out the mud? Do you
Mhm.
think they perceive the criticism differently?
Um, I think ultimately, it's the criticism is not taken well by women in general because
Mhm.
it's a taboo thing.
Mhm.
When we talk about domestic violence, when we talk about um different assaults, a lot of times, and this is an unpopular opinion, a lot of times women initiate it. But when the police come, who do they automatically say is wrong and hold accountable, even though they don't even hear not one person say anything? They automatically hold the man accountable. A lot of states are changing that. So I like that. I appreciate that. But
Why are they holding the man accountable?
men are used to being held accountable. Women are
Why
not
are
used
they
to being held
naturally? Why are they naturally coming in and holding the man accountable?
because it's the way society is ran. Society is ran where men have to be held accountable. Women don't really typically don't have to be held accountable. Like if a man runs around as reckless with his seed, they dog the man. Oh, you need to clip his stuff. You need to make sure he can't have any more kids. Blah blah blah. I there. This is a true story in Tennessee. In Tennessee, they had 9 men
Mhm.
that was responsible for 168 children, 9 men, black men. They
Wow.
were responsible for 168 children by
Mhm.
98 different women. If you let women tell it, oh, clip those 9 men, clip them. Women can only be pregnant once a time. No. And a lot of these women know each other. What is happening
Mm.
to our community, especially, it's just 15 to 20% of men that are having all the babies. Women are having babies with the same dudes and then say all men are trash, all men are father. You literally laying down with a man that wasn't expected to be a father by other women, and you're giving him a baby, and then you're saying these men are not stepping up and being fathers. The man wasn't even going to be a father in the first place. Having a baby ain't gonna automatically turn on a switch and make him a daddy. But women are doing it, and then guess who's being held accountable? Men are. And now men say, hold on, that math ain't mathing, sis. You got 9 men in Tennessee, black men in Tennessee, responsible for 168 children by 98 different women. Okay, all is fair in
Mhm.
love and war, right? So if those
Mhm.
9 men should be held accountable, which is they should, they need to be able to
Mhm.
control their seed. Those
Mhm.
98 women, 98 of them should be held accountable. Oh, we didn't know that they didn't have jobs when we had a baby. Are you serious? So it's their fault that they didn't have a job and didn't tell you, or is it your fault that you didn't ask them and you didn't find out? See, this is what I'm saying. It's a taboo thing for women to take accountability. And that's
Mm.
the problem. And that's why I speak mainly to the women
Mhm.
because men are taking accountability. I post something today and I said men need to control their seed. They need to use self-control. Men were liking it. Bloop,
Mhm.
bloop, 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 bloop. No men got on there and say, how dare you? Not all men. And coming at me. Men didn't come on there like that.
Well, women are naturally more emotional now. Come
Right.
on.
So therefore, it's also they're emotional and also it's taboo. You can't do this. You can't tell Big Mama that she was wrong. Big Mama
So
is the
back,
matriarch in the community. You can't tell her she wrong.
so
You
back
can't.
to you saying, when the police come in, they automatically take the man because men are being held accountable. I think it's all about the stronger vessel when a police come into the home. I think they looking at the stronger vessel. They look at the woman, they look at the man. In my case, they would look at the man and then they would look at the woman. They'd be like, how much damage can she actually do? Not saying that that's right,
All
but
right.
I think that's the way it is. It's looking at the stronger vessel
And I get
when it
that.
comes
I,
to
I
that.
get that to a certain extent. I understand that. But when do we say, hey, all right, man, what did you do? What happened? You know what I'm saying? What did you do? Because typically men don't just get up one day and say, hey, I'm just gonna beat up on my significant other. Something's happened. Maybe there's an argument, maybe something going on, maybe because women can't physically beat men, they try to beat them down psychologically. And men that are grown up in a society, especially black men, where 70 to 80% of the kids are raised by single mothers, so they don't have strong emotional fortitude that a man will bring in the house if he was present in the home. And so therefore, when you break down a man psychologically, the only thing he know what to do is to use his fist, because that's how men talk. That's why you see young boys when they little kids, they wrestling all the time. You're like, stop wrestling, get your hands off each other. That's how men communicate. So when a woman breaks down a man psychologically, the man might not even be equipped to break her down psychologically. He only equipped.
So he becomes physical.
Right, because that's how men talk. So you could be, and you can't call the police and say, hey, my significant other is emotionally abusing me. You can't call the police. They're gonna laugh at you and hang up the phone. But if a woman calls, say, hey, he touched me, they did quick, fast, and hurry.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying.
It don't have to get physical.
Everyone has a breaking point. Everyone has a breaking point. Nobody's excusing physical. What I'm saying is this is why a lot of times it might get physical on the man side. A lot of times. Because a woman.
Thank you for not excusing that, because I was just
right. I'm not excusing none of that. I'm not excusing physical or emotional abuse. I'm not excusing none of that. None of it is okay. But what I'm saying, when do we say women need to be held accountable for emotionally abusing men and getting away with it? As high
so you feel like there should be a law in place to arrest women for emotional abuse?
But how can you quantify emotional abuse? You could quantify licks. You could quantify scars. You can't really see emotion. Or you can't look at somebody's heart. You can't open somebody's brain and say, hey, you're emotionally abused. You know what I'm saying? That's why we don't have laws, because you can't quantify that. You can't.
There's things that happen if you've been emotionally abused. So there's ways to detect if you've been emotionally abused. Some people may have to see a psychiatrist. They may have some type of stress issue going on. They may be put on medication.
Police ain't doing that.
I'm not saying the police doing it. If you have doctors' notes and excuses and prescriptions and stuff like that, then you have something to prove that you have been emotionally abused. That's what I'm saying.
But that's after.
Do you feel like there should be a law put in place for women to go to jail for emotional abuse?
I don't think that. I don't even know what that law will look like, because you can say all you want, but once all woman has to say, and it don't even have to be true. Oh, he touched me, he hit me. That man is going to jail instantly. All they need to get is a confession from a woman that he breathed on them wrong and brushed against their shoulder wrong. That's all they need to hear from a woman. And by that note, they will take the man immediately.
Okay.
So
let's talk about it the other way around.
Right. Women abuse men emotionally and physically all the time, and it gets laughed at by the police. This is what men live through. So I understand what you're saying. Maybe they should be a law, but how do you quantify emotional abuse? And do you believe all men when they say they are emotionally abused? Do you? No. Most people ain't gonna even believe it. They're gonna be like, take it like a man.
If there's a paper trail showing that you have been emotionally abused, just like if you was physically abused, if you have some type of pictures of scars and bruising and cuts and whatever else, that's evidence. Same thing with emotional abuse. You would just need doctor's notes showing that you came in and you was unstable in this way because of this happened and all that from a psychiatrist.
If I make a phone call and I say, hey, I'm being emotionally abused, can you send the police? What? They're gonna be like, what?
Well, now you can't say that. That's why I said, do you think there should be a law in place?
Even when they come to the house,
Mhm.
Do black men really want dudes with weapons to come to the house for that? You think we want to risk our life off of trying to get them to believe that I've been emotionally abused?
So what do the black man do? What do the man do in general? Do he leave? What do he do?
We either use self-control, but everybody has a breaking point. There's nobody in this world that don't have a breaking point. Everyone has a breaking point. We either leave. A lot of times people stay because of other factors. Maybe children are involved. Maybe certain living situations ain't right. If you leave, then your finances might make the house go under. Whatever. There's a
Mhm.
lot of different reasons.
Mhm.
If that man decides to stay for whatever reason,
Mhm.
there is but so much that the man can take. He either is going to go crazy, lose his mind, or he's going to break. Either way, he either going to break emotionally or physically. Break.
So this goes back to adulting. If a man is being emotionally abused
Right.
to the point where he feel like he needs to physically touch another person, he needs to leave, regardless to what's in place. He should map that out, figure it out, make a plan, get it together, and go.
Right.
Or the woman should go.
Right. And so that also, I believe that 110%. So also the woman should do the same.
Hmm.
Women should be held accountable of doing that too, leaving
Hmm.
the situation. But see, you have a lot of women saying, "Oh, I ain't leaving. I this is all me here." You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You
Are
gonna
we
have
talking
you gonna
about? Are
you
we
gonna
talking
have to
about
move.
married
You gonna have
homes?
to move me. Hold on, no, I'm talking about even
Hmm.
if you see, I live in New York City. A lot of stuff used to happen. This didn't happen all the time, but when it did happen to people, we used to see people on the street going at it. Because in New York City, you see a bunch of people on the street just walking, uh, uh, all kinds. All that stuff was happening. When
Hmm.
it was happening, you would hear these arguments with these men and women, and you just like, oh my gosh, please don't touch her. Please walk away. Please walk away, man. I know she getting on your nerve. Please walk away. And the dude is faithfully trying to walk away. And guess what the
Hmm.
woman is doing? Coming in the face. Ha ha ha. Not touching them. Ha ha. Oh, you little. This is da. You're not a real man. Blah blah. We have breaking points. And women be trying to test that breaking point. I'm saying are women gonna say, hey, I'll get away and give you everything? No, women more likely don't do it. It's the men that has to leave, even if the women is the aggressor. The men has to vacate.
I think that depends on the type of woman. I definitely think that depends on the type of woman because when you want your peace, you will leave. You will give it all to them just to get your peace.
I
What's
get,
more important to you, the materialistic stuff or your peace?
but
So
then
if
when
somebody has built their whole home up and everything, and they're more materialistic, of course they're gonna want to stay there because they got this, they got that. But when you just want your peace, none of that matters. You will go and rebuild again. It doesn't take a whole lot. You can go and rebuild again. So I think it depends on the type of woman, and that's also why I kind of asked why did you feel like financial status may play a role.
yeah,
So.
it definitely plays a role. It depends on
Mhm.
every situation, financial status, what you got going on, who's on the wheel. I mean, whose name on the 401k, who name is on the doggone life insurance policy. It's a lot of things you got to think about. You see what I'm
I'm
saying?
done with you. Not who
So
name is on the wheel,
so
teacher.
I get
Oh Lord.
I get it. I get it. I get all of it. What I'm saying is the same way the man is held accountable to say, hey, you need to walk away, bro. And I agree
Mhm.
110%. The woman should be held accountable and say, sis, you need to walk away.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
it. That's all I'm saying. And that's not what has been happening. What's been happening is the men, even though he's the victim,
Mhm.
and all he doing is protecting himself at this point, he
Mhm.
gets called the aggressor. When a woman is the aggressor
Mhm.
and something happened to her, oh, see, she's the victim. See what I'm saying? So it's just different what we have in our society. We it's a double standard. It's a clear double standard. We understand, men. We understand this, so we move accordingly. So That's
Oh,
another thing why dudes don't get into relationships is, or they think about before they get into a relationship with a woman with children that are not his, because
mhm.
all that little girl has to say, because
Mm,
he mad and he corrected her, and you like, you ain't my daddy.
mhm, mhm.
All she got to say is one thing that probably or probably not did happen,
Right.
and that man life is ruined. And even if they find out that it didn't happen, that man life is ruined, because you can't unrace that, because in our society women automatically believe all women, and so they're going to run with it to the bank.
Wow.
It's rough. It is, we say, women say, oh, we have it so rough, I get it, y'all do have it rough, but it don't it it pales in comparison with what men got to go through, what men got to face on a day-to-day basis, and try to tiptoe around people and tiptoe and saying things, and oh, I can't look this way, because you got men in the weight room now. It's a trend. Men are in the weight room, and if they look and glance at a woman, what are you looking at? See, I feel safe. You looking at me while I'm working out? Come on, man. Look, what are we doing? The world is getting crazy. Social media has made the problem even worse.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you can't
That's
even
funny
say it, you
because
can't even look, you can't even do none of that no more.
yeah, that's hilarious because a lot of, the dress code for working out is one thing, and then the squatting, the bending, all of that, of course, is gonna grab the attention of the opposite sex
Of
eye.
course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote down something else. I said some people actually search for insecurities and use that against you in the form of criticism to throw people off track. Do you agree with that? Like men, because men have been known to be jealous of women as well.
About what?
Do you think some?
Jealous of women for what?
We can talk about the financial part. When a woman is you said the statistics say that more men make more than women, but in a case where a woman is actually making more than a man, that could cause a jealousy. Yes, it
No.
can.
Nope.
It can cause a
Nope.
jealousy.
Nope. And I'm gonna tell you from a
Mhm.
man. I'm gonna tell you from men. And this goes into echo chambers too. Women talk about this all the time when they're completely wrong. Not even a little bit wrong. They're completely wrong. They think that because you women make a little bit more money than that man, they're intimidated. That is completely wrong. Men are not intimidated by women's money. We are not.
That's not true.
I'm going to tell you
That
why.
you're wrong
Hold
to
on. Let
think
me
that.
tell you why. No, I'm going to tell you from a man's perspective. I don't know why y'all get
Hmm.
intimidation. No, that makes y'all feel better. That's not the truth,
Uh-uh.
though. This is the truth. There comes an attitude with a woman that makes more money. When I'm talking about women that feeling themselves because they make a little bit more money, and they trying to say,
Hmm.
oh yeah, we make more money now, so we strong and independent, we don't need no man. And that kind of attitude, let
Hmm.
something happen, an argument happen in the house.
Hmm.
Let an argument happen in the house.
Hmm.
And guess what a woman gonna do? See, that's why you don't make that much money. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna pull that in. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what does that have to do with shower curtains? You talk about how much money you make now, so you could tell me what to do with the shower curtains or whatever. That's just an example. It becomes an attitude. It becomes another arsenal that a woman can pull out when she doesn't, quote unquote, get her way. That's what happens. That's why we not
Hmm.
intimidated by women with money. We just know that we need to back up because it comes with something else. It comes with a headache. It comes with an attitude. We hey, make $1 million, ladies. We don't care about that. But what we do
Absolutely.
care about,
Pause.
what we care about is the attitude that a woman with an inflated ego that a woman brings to the table when she's making $1 million. Now you can't tell her nothing because she make a lot of money. Oh, you can't tell me nothing. Oh, I make money. I make all this money.
Absolutely not.
That's
Absolutely not. You
that.
have women that make a lot of money that may make more than they're made, and they're not aggressive like that. It's just hey, I make more money
So
than you.
so
That's
if you was a
fine.
fly, if you were a fly on their wall, you don't think that that's brought up and there's some kind of attitude with it that you don't see? I'm telling you,
I
that's what
have been
happened.
in a
Men know
situation
this. Men
where
know this.
I was making more money. I have been in that situation where I was the one that's making the most money.
Okay.
And I can tell that there was some jealousy there. But I didn't take it and throw it in their face and say, hey, I make the most money and da 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 da. I didn't do all that. But I could
What
still
did you
tell it was
do?
some jealousy there.
But what did you
10
do?
years,
Why did you
10
feel
years
like it's jealousy?
later,
Go ahead. Why you feel like it was
be,
jealousy? Go ahead.
because, I mean, the things that they would say,
Like
stuff
what?
like, oh, you make more money than me anyway. It's the tone and the way they bring it to the table.
So that
Now
means
listen,
jealousy. That was just
no,
the truth. You make
not
more money than
10
me
years,
anyway.
10 years later, when they came and told it to me again, they said, actually, I was kind of jealous 10 years ago when you was making more money than me. And so that was a confession. They didn't say it at that time, but 10 years later, they said it. And so they said, now that I'm making more than you, I want to be able to do all the providing. They
Oh,
want
so
to
they were
do
trying
all
to
the
they were trying to
providing.
holler at you again.
No, we was together.
Oh,
So yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah. So we was living together. We was in the same
Oh, okay.
home, Peter. We was in the same home. And what I'm saying is, at that time, I was making the most money.
James Tiley said, "I wish a woman would make more money than me." Yes, men, listen, men,
And be happy. Be
men.
happy. Don't be like,
No,
I know,
no,
like,
man, no, men are good. And I'm gonna say this: real men, they don't, they
hmm
don't care. Hey, shoot for the stars. Make that money. You bringing it into the house. We, it's a business to us. If we breaking bread together, hey, make that money.
yeah,
But if you
make
stingy
that
with your
money.
money, hold on. If you
hmm
stingy with your money, if you
Yeah.
talk about I'm making money, but hey, you can only get access to this percentage. You can't have access to this, and I'm gonna stash this money away, and I'm planning for my quote unquote escape, unescape, but not really. If you doing all of that, yes, a man gonna feel some type of way. Of
Oh,
course, who
Peter.
wouldn't? But that's not we're not intimidated. We're just saying, oh, you acting funny because you got a little money. We're gonna feel
Oh,
some
come
type of
on, come
way.
on, come on, keep talking, Peter. Go on and tell it. Keep
You don't
talking.
Men are gonna feel some type of way. Of course, you're gonna feel some type of way if a woman does that. If a woman is
Okay.
hiding her money and acting funny with her money because she make a little bit more than you and she moving
So you
differently
get a
than
little
she
bit
would
jealous.
that no that she's moving a little bit differently than you
hmm hmm
and because she's moving a little bit different than she would if she wasn't making more money. When people start acting strange because they're making a little bit more change, I'm telling you, we gonna feel some type of way because he was like, you wouldn't even act like the way you acting if you was making the same amount of money as me.
Uh-huh.
You see what I'm saying? So we gonna feel some type of way. That's not intimidation. That's not jealousy. We just saying, why you moving like that? Why you moving in that kind of way? We might try to tell you later, 10 years later, and say, yeah, it was jealousy. So you can kind of understand because we can't really explain it. Because we
Oh
can't,
no, what we
because if you
not know, what we not gonna do, Peter. We
hold on.
not gonna be making no excuses for the man on here now.
Hold on.
That's not what
Hold
that's
on.
not
Let
what
me
we
let me
finna do.
clarify. Let me clarify. Let me clarify. 10 years
hmm
later, because you are convinced it's jealousy, we will agree with you. Ain't no fighting that. If a woman is in her resolve and she believes this thing, ain't no fighting with her to try to make her believe anything other than what she believe in. Especially if she believed it for 10 years.
Wait a minute. I didn't say I told him that for 10 years. I said he can't see how you twist everything, Peter. I gotta watch
I ain't
you.
twisted.
Let
I
me
ain't
let
twisted.
let let
I
me
ain't
sit on
twisted.
because I got to watch you, Peter.
I
You
ain't twist
trying to
nothing. I ain't twist anything. I'm just being honest. I didn't twist anything.
I said he came back and said that he was jealous 10 years ago because I was making the most money. And I didn't say that. I told him I think you jealous. You know, he told me.
You don't
And,
think
and,
that you
and
would
it,
give it off? Oh, you think he jealous vibes? You don't think he was feeling that vibes?
I don't think
Listen,
so.
y'all be
I
acting
don't
like
think
y'all
so.
body language don't be telling us something that we
I
might
don't
perceive correct.
No, no, it's not correct. I laugh a lot, Peter. Come on. I don't think so. What I think is I think that I shared everything. So it didn't matter. It was like everything was together. I didn't care. Like, let's do it all together. He felt some type of way because he was a male. He was the man. He was supposed to be the head. But his woman was making the most money.
Mm,
You gotta feel some type of way about that.
no,
You're not telling me you wouldn't feel some
no,
type of way
no, nope,
about your woman
nope.
making $20,000
Man,
more than you.
a man, nope, nope. A man, nope. You know why? Only way we will feel some type of way is not intimidation. It's not
Hmm.
jealousy. It's the attitude that comes behind it. Oh, I can't. There's gonna be a day she gonna bring up that she make 20 more K to me. There's gonna be a day she gonna whip it over my head. She ain't say it today, but there might be a day where there's gonna be that.
Mm-mm.
But it's no, oh, it might be that, or it might be, oh, she gonna try to hold this over my head, or she gonna walk around as if I can't, as if I can't say nothing to her. See, this is
So
the
you walk
issue.
around with fear, basically.
No, it's not fear. This is the issue. Men don't want to get in that kind of situation, not because
Hmm.
they're intimidated from a woman. They don't
Hmm.
want to get in that situation because the headache it might bring. Men love peace. They love their peace. If they think
Do
they're
they
going to get
not?
into a situation that's going to disturb their peace, if you come into the house and I'm trying to say, hey, how about you do this? And you give them, I make 20 more K look at him, then
Oh, Peter!
it's a
What do you
problem.
think?
Are you going to, it's the problem isn't, are we intimidated? Because we're
Oh
not.
my God.
Is the problem is, are you going to respect the man as if he was making more than you? Women like hypergamy. If a man ain't making more than them, it's the same. Is that woman gonna have the same respect level as if he was making more than them? The vast
Some of them
majority
will.
is gonna know. Because if that was the case, more women would say, I will date a dude that's making less than me. And that's not the case. They're like
No.
hypergamy. More women,
Mm-mm.
most women like hypergamy. He got to make either equal or more than me.
You have a lot of low class. You have a lot of lower class that accept the man not making anything. So you can't say that.
A lot of
They
lower
they
class. What are you
accept.
talking about?
I'm talking about the class of people. You have a lot of lower class um, men and women. The women accept the male that's not making anything, or he might be making a couple of nickels and dimes. Come
Right.
on, Peter. So
Right.
they do accept
And
men
and
that's not
so
making more than them.
and guess what? Because the women that they really want are not are not checking for them. The woman that they really want ain't checking for them. They'll take what they can get. See, what women got to understand,
Woo!
men will take what they can get.
Mm,
Women won't take what they can get. They
interesting.
they, they only take
Interesting.
what they think they deserve. You could have a woman that's the lower class woman that's taking a dude that don't that don't have anything going for them. They might be with them because they think that's what they deserve.
Hmm.
You got women that's in a higher class, they're only going to allow men certain access to them what they think they deserve. Men, we take what we can get. Your study show 1 in 3, 1 in 5 men are don't even get no kind of sexual play. It's a rising
What?
number of men that don't get no sexual play.
Wait a minute now.
So men, there's yes. So there's
Wait a minute.
men
There's
in
a
this
shortage on men, and there's a rising in men that's not getting sexual play. I thought it was like 7 or 8 women to a
women,
man.
right? And women are having sex with the same men. We just been over this earlier. Women are having sex with the same men. They're passing dudes around. Case in point, 98 women. 9 men, 98 women. Passing dudes around. The same 9 dudes around to 98 women. They're passing the same
So,
dudes around. Look at Future. He got 8 baby
so are you,
mamas. Passing
so
dudes
you're
around. Nick
saying
Cannon.
there's a percentage of men that's not being calculated in this number when they say it's 7 to 8 women to a man. Is that what you're saying?
No, but what I'm saying is women hold access to sex. Men hold access to relationships. Women get to
Mhm.
choose who has sex and who doesn't.
Mhm.
Men choose who get married and who doesn't. Women try to use sex as leverage, as if men don't have leverage when it comes to serious relationships and marriage.
Mhm.
Women are trying to get men to act right for sex. So they choose who gets access to sex. And that dude that's
Mhm.
working at Starbucks that has glasses, the geeky kid, he looked
Mhm.
like he's 16, but he really 22.
Mhm.
That dude ain't getting no play.
Hmm.
A lot of these geeky dudes that run these tech companies, if they ain't one making lots of money, they won't get no play either.
I don't know.
There's a rising, especially the rise of dating apps. Dating apps don't want you to match with people and get together and get off the dating app. They don't want that.
I've seen men that is getting play that I wouldn't think would be getting play. So I
Facts.
don't know where the I don't know where you finding your people at, but I see like I
I'm not
say,
using anecdotal. I'm not using anecdotal situations. I'm using
mhm,
stats, data, and statistics. I'm looking at
mhm.
the numbers. I'm looking at when you look at even let's just look at the dating app. They got the data
So
in the
where are
dating
they?
app. They know who's getting swipe left and swipe right at. They say that the
Okay.
top 10% of all the men that's on dating app, the top 10, what
Mhm,
they do is the algorithm is like this. They put all the good looking men at the top to
mhm.
the least to the non-attractive men at the
Uh huh.
bottom. Women
Mhm,
swipe all women swipe left and right, swipe right to all the good looking men in the beginning. Those
mhm,
bottom 10%, those bottom 15, 20, 30%, they don't get no
mhm,
play, no swipes. They pull the data. Come to find out, all the women were swiping, like 80 to like 90% of the women were swiping on the top 10% of men on those dating apps. So 10% of the men have the pick of the litter. So that's why you get a lot of rising. You see people in echo chambers talking about dating apps are trash, and but they still on it. They talk about, oh, these men call them at 2 o'clock in the morning. Hey, what are you doing? You up? Trying to get a booty call. You know why? Because
mm.
he got 10. He could do that to 10 women, and he got 20 more in the stash
And it's stash. You're right.
because
You're right.
he is getting the pick of the litter. Women
Mhm,
are attracted to the same guys.
mhm.
They're not spreading the love. They spreading the love to a
Right.
selective few. And that's what we're saying. Women are calling all men trash, but the top 10 to 15, 20%, maybe in some cases, are getting all the play from all the women. 15 to in our community, 15 to 20% of men are having all those babies, having the majority of the babies in our community. Women are passing the same dudes around.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
So so okay. So you say with the statistics, I don't know who's taking this or whatever, but from what I see, just seeing, I'm not talking about a dating app or anything like that. There's been a lot of women. So it's like there's a shortage of men. A
Right.
lot of women is like if you go even on lives and stuff like that, you'll see 300 women and 6 men, and they're all over all these 6 men. Where are the men? Is there really a shortage, or you're saying no, there's not? You're basically saying no, right?
I'm
There's
not
not a
saying there's
shortage.
no, I'm not, I'm saying there is a shortage of men. What I'm saying is women are only still, even though there's a shortage of men, they're not saying, hey, let me lower quote unquote my standards and get me a nice guy. They're going to the same guys that everyone like. Women like status too, just like men like
Of course.
status. Women want the
Mhm.
guy that every woman wants too. Just like guys
Mhm.
want the girl that every man wants too. So women
Mhm.
are picking from a small selective few. Women already outnumber in the black community 2 million more women than
Mhm.
men.
Mhm.
In even in the black community, women are still picking at a selective few of men, even though there's already few men. Out of those few men, they're only attracting and want the 15 to 20% of them. So those
Hmm.
15 to 20% of them have the pick of the litter.
So they have a preference, of course, right? So
Right.
yeah, they have women have preference. The
Right.
men
So
are like,
therefore, women need to come down if they want the outcomes. They need to come down on some of those people things on their list. They list is a little bit too tight, sis. You out you outnumber us. So sis, if you want to get the outcomes and get married, even
mm,
and this goes to all women because all women do this.
right,
You need to come down on some of your list. You call it settling. I call it compromising.
compromising.
But
Hmm.
women want to call it settling. Oh, I can't take this off my list because I'm settling. And there's the people in echo chambers. Women, you should never settle. These men don't get
So
settled. No.
that's good. That's good you bring that up because that drives me to the question of the asking if a woman takes something off their list that they want or desire in a man, so they can be able to be with a man. Does this make this woman more a target, I guess, or more likely to cheat with another man that have that quality that she had to take off that list?
So are you trying to victim blame now? Of and giving an excuse for
That
women
was
for
a
cheating?
that was a question.
I'm asking, and so I'm asking a question to clarify the question so I can
A
answer it.
question to a question. Okay.
I'm just asking a question
So
to clarify your question. I'm saying, are you saying that we gonna victim blame the man for getting cheating on?
no, 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 no. I'm not saying that. I'm saying because she compromised, is she likely to cheat because she had to pull that off her list? It may have
Po-
been something that
possibly,
she
possibly,
okay.
and that's why men cheat too, because
I was gonna ask you
nine
that
times out of
next.
10, men are settling.
Hmm.
Typically, men are high earners in their relationship. Men don't practice
He said the
hypergamy.
other 200 men are your friends.
Right. James Tully said it. He said the other 200 men are in friend zone. Yep, that's true. And that's why I did a show the other day uh that sometimes your husband, I told women their husband might be in their friend zone.
Hmm.
All
I
they got
saw
to
that.
do is,
That was
kind of minimize what got them pushed them in the friend zone and got them friend zone. And sometimes you got to
hmm
compromise on that to to be really happy. You can have a
hmm
happy life. I'm not saying he gonna make you
hmm
happy because it's not his job to make you happy, but you can
hmm
have a happy life through
hmm
a good guy.
right.
But don't I told women don't wait too long because that man
Hmm.
might get bitter in that friend zone, and now all he is hanging on just so he can get
Yeah.
your goodies.
Oh. Mm. So then
Because
after that, he
he'll-
gone.
because
He
problem
take
is
his.
when you talk about friend zone guys, they especially if they're close with the girl that friend zone them, the
Hmm.
all the dudes that the women go chase after,
Hmm.
all the chads and all the good looking guys,
Hmm.
after they break their heart, they call their friend zone guy. Oh, he did this, he did that, and like, yeah, you could do so much better, girl. You could do so much better. I know, but I just the heart wants what the heart wants.
Oh
Okay, and
Lord.
he's hearing this. He's taking all this in. And guess what? You go back chasing
Okay.
another one, or you chase the same one, and he does the same thing to you. Well, girl, I told you that that if you do this, he gonna do this. Didn't I say? She was like, yeah, you were so right. Let's go have brunch. Don't touch me though, but you can have brunch. Yeah. This won't go nowhere though, but we can have brunch. They see all this.
Affection matters though.
You do this a very long time, guess what's gonna happen? He's gonna
What?
start losing respect for you, and all he doing is
Hmm.
sticking around, right? And it might not he just sticking around for your goodies, but if you
Hmm.
ever do give him a chance, and it's too late, and you gave him a chance, he might say,
Hmm.
"Oh, I finally got the girl of my dreams." The anticipation was so high,
Hmm.
and then y'all did something physically, and he's like, "That's what I waited so long. That's why I look like a fool for. That's what I."
Mm.
And because the
Wow.
problem is the man has lost respect. He's not
He
even
lost
realizing
respect
that he
because he was
lost
in the friend
respect for
zone.
her. And He lost respect for her because he heard how she was dogging herself out with these dudes that were no good. He lost respect for her slowly but surely. He didn't even realize he lost respect for her, but he ended up doing something with her, and it's not exciting. You know why? Because subconsciously he lost respect for her. See, it's a psychological thing that happens. I don't just be talking out my behind. I'll be talking straight facts from
Sometimes you
statistical
do.
data. Listen, listen. Only time I talk out of my behind
Mm.
is when I'm using the potty. Sorry. That's the only time I talk out of my behind. Outside of that, it comes from a real place. It comes from an
Okay.
honest place.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It,
This is
uh,
what
it,
happens. We
it
got to
does.
be careful. And I'm trying to show women. They call me this evil guy, but I'm really trying to show women the game so they can get better outcomes. But instead of women saying, "Hey, this man, he's already out. I'm out the game. I'm married. I'm out the game." But because of who I am, I'm trying to come back to show y'all, hey, I'm not saying, oh, everything's perfect. I'm not a perfect person. I'm not. But
Hmm.
I can show you some things to have even better outcomes than I have. You see what I'm saying? Like I can show you the way. Like if I was to talk to my 20-year-old self, this is what I would say. You see what I'm saying? And so
Hmm.
that's what I'm coming back to do. I'm trying to show women to get better outcomes. Because to be frank, I'm tired of women's mouth. I'm tired. I'm
Oh,
tired of hearing them call men trash. I'm tired of them saying, "Oh, ain't no good men out there," and all this. I'm tired of all of it. I'm tired.
well, usually what I hear is all the good men are taken. That's what I
I
hear
hear a
a
little
lot.
bit of
All the good
both.
men are taken.
Maybe back 20 years ago they were saying good men are taken. Now they're saying there ain't no good men.
Mm. Mm-mm.
But see,
I
I
still
told
see
somebody
it.
today, and I didn't even get to respond back to her. I think she responded back to me. I said, and I'm just trying to give her the game. I said, she was like, "Oh, good men are far in between." I said, no, there's good men out there, but you got to ask yourself a question. Are you putting yourself in position to be seen by those good men? And I
Also,
said,
something important.
the greater question is this: are you what those good men want in a woman? We
Mm.
don't ask those tough questions. I promise you, if a woman asks those tough questions to herself, I promise you she will change her outcomes almost overnight. But because
Well,
women don't think that they can just continue on being who they are and no self improvement, but men have to self improve, but women don't have to self improve. They can just be who they are, but men have to self improve. If you women that think like that, they going singleness is gonna be their portion.
also, you have to look at what is a good man to the individual. Because a good man in general may not be what's a good man to me. A general, what somebody else says is a good man, I might not think that's a
Okay,
good
we
man.
can go with that. Okay, we can go with that. So the question still stands. The good man that you want, are you what he wants in a woman? Period. It still goes the same way. Either way, if you want to break it down like that, break it down like that. It's fine. That's splitting hairs, but we can go split hairs. We can do that. We both got hair on our head. We can split hairs all day.
Peter.
But if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, ask those questions. And that's something I did as a young man myself. I asked, man,
Uh-huh.
am I a dude that a woman would want? And I had to maintain that. So I said, hey, I got to be a guy that a woman that I want will want.
But what type of woman? I mean, I'm gonna tell you the reason why I say this because I always hear that good men get dogged out. The good men is not wanted by the women; they want the bad man, and
Right.
that's
That's
why I
part of
say,
it. That's
what
part
is
of
a
it.
good man to you, to the person who's looking for the man? Because that general thing might not apply to them. So that's why you hear some saying that they want to be with a bad dude instead of a good dude.
No,
Because what
they want to be with a
general
bad dude, but they want the bad dude to be good, which
no
is dumb. They want a
No.
thug.
What?
They want a
Who
thug
said
dude
that?
that will grab their hair. They grab their hair doing sexual encounters, but don't
They say.
but don't rough them up after sexual
Wait
encounters.
a
Don't be
minute,
a thug.
Peter.
Come on,
Did you say
man.
the thug is the only one who's full of hair?
What I'm saying. I'm just saying they want a thug to not be thuggish with them. Like that's just weird. It's like I want a killer and I want a criminal. I want somebody that sells dope. I want
I,
somebody that's dishonest on his day-to-day life, but I want him to be honest with me. That's just that's I can't say that
no, no.
word.
I think some people
That's
just
just
like a tough
crazy.
demeanor, a tough demeanor,
So therefore,
and a
you
good dude, you're not gonna really get that. They're more mild tempered. They're more,
right, they
they're not
have
gonna do a whole lot.
self-control. Good dudes got
They're not gonna do a whole lot.
self-control. Right.
And a bad, what a quote unquote, what they call a bad dude is more. They're gonna be more exciting. They're gonna do a whole lot more things than the good dude is quote unquote gonna do. Because I don't like to say good dude because, like I said, my good dude might not be everybody else's good dude.
In general, it all is all the same. Women want a dude that earns money. They want a dude that treats them right, has good morals towards them, possibly to the world as well. They want certain things. Women want certain things on their list. You can go and in general, you can find things that's on women's list, and it's pretty much the same thing with different variations, but it's the same thing. So men have become those things for women, and men are saying, "Hey, we got a list too," and women saying, "I don't got to do no self improvement. You got to be what we want on our list, but we ain't got to be what you want. You better take me as I am." And men are saying, "No, that's a bad deal." And I won't have none of my men in my, especially in my community, take no bad deal, because we've been getting bad
Hmm.
deals all our lives.
Hmm.
We will not come and we will not come and get a bad deal. We don't mind compromising. We don't mind, hey, give and taking. We don't mind it, but we will not take a bad deal. We will not take a woman that says you can change and you have to become your better self, but I don't have to. You take me as I am. You take the rest of me. Everybody got the good parts of me. And that's what another reason why a lot of dudes don't get with baby mothers, because you gave the good parts of you to somebody else, and then the good dudes get the leftovers and they say, now take me as I am, instead of doing self-improvement. And that's what I
Hmm.
will not tell my men to do. Do not take a bad deal. It has to
Don't
be a
take a
good
bad
deal
deal.
for both parties. If you're taking the risk of getting married to a woman, and then if she doesn't feel happy one day and she wants to get a divorce, she can take half of your junk. If you want to get into marriage with somebody and she doesn't feel like she wants to be here anymore, because women are leaving 70 to 80% of the time, filing for divorce for first top thing is financial, and then it's irreconcilable differences, pretty much, aka I'm not happy. If
Period.
because a woman
Hmm.
gets is not happy any longer, she decides to leave, and when she's college educated, here is the stats. When she is college educated, that means she making a lot more bread.
Hmm.
She leaves marriage 90% of the time. 90. She files for divorce 90%. It jumps from 75 to 80 to 90 when she's college educated. That means she's sophisticated and she got money.
Hmm.
You see what the attitude that it brings when women have money as a whole? And
Low
that's what men
tolerance.
are saying. Men are not intimidated with women because they're getting married to
Low
women with money.
tolerance.
Right.
It's low tolerance.
Right.
Low
So men don't
tolerance
want
to
to deal with
cheating.
low
Low
tolerant
tolerance
women.
to right.
It's not
So I'm
intimidation.
saying
It's not
what
jealousy.
I'm saying. Yeah, yeah. They don't want to deal with women that have low tolerance toward men. They don't want to deal with them. But women that know that they have options,
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to tolerate a whole lot of bull crap from a man that's not doing what he's supposed to do.
And vice versa. Dudes ain't gonna take a whole lot of bull
Especially
crap
since the
either.
internet has been in place.
Right. And
These
but
pros.
this is what's happening. But
But
here's the sad truth. Women have a high standard, especially in our black community, First of all, a lot of them are not meeting that standard. Second of all, if they are meeting that standard, ain't nobody in other races rushing to marry them either. So we here is the problem. Black women are exercising muscles who, when they don't need to pick up any weights. And here's why I say this. When they say, I'm not taking no BS, I'm not taking no BS, I understand
Mhm.
that, sis.
Mhm.
You're going to take BS when you're by yourself anyway. A lot of it. Hear me good. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying here.
Okay.
You're going to take BS regardless. Life is full of ups and downs. It's a series of ups and downs. That's what life is. A
Mhm.
series of ups and downs. You either going to pick somebody and get with somebody that can go through life with you of this series of ups and downs, or you're going to be by
Mhm.
yourself still going through series of ups and downs. Life gets real cold. The wall of life is undefeated, especially for women.
Mhm.
When you're 45 years old and you single and you need to go have a surgery, you don't have nobody there to hold your hand and be there with you going through life with you. It gets real
Right.
cold. It gets real lonely. And I'm trying to stop women from getting to that point in their life. I want them to get what they need to get right now and get the outcomes now and expand and grow, especially in the black community. I want them to be able to get that idea and grow with a man in the community and build the community strong again with families, real families, the nuclear family, men and women and children. But instead, they want to continue this cycle of I do what I want. You have to change, men. We're not changing anything. You better love me as the queen and goddess that I am. No, this all this behavior we seeing in our community, it's not queen and goddess behavior.
Well, I think some of that is insecurity issue. The women, a lot of women have become insecure,
We got to get over it.
but why? But
We,
why did they become insecure?
because
Again,
they don't go to therapy. And so therefore they're going to continue on with that in their hearts, in their minds, instead of getting the help that they need, instead of doing self-improvement like we've been saying. They're saying, no, you need to go to therapy, you need to do this, instead of them saying, hey, I need to go to therapy. Men should be saying, I need to go to therapy, I need to self-improve. Men have been self-improving in the way that women are asking, and all we are saying is, women, can
really?
you? Yes, women wanted us to get do this, do the decades. No scrubs. I don't want no scrubs. So dudes decided not to be a scrub anymore. It ain't nothing going on but the rent. You got to have a job
Uh,
if you want to
Peter,
be
you
with
living
me.
in a box.
If you
Peter.
can, you got to have a job if you want to be with me. Men are making more than women, even in this society where affirmative actions help out white women and then help out black women and then help out the black man. Even in this society, when affirmative action helps out white women first and then black women second, and then who's at the bottom? Black men. That affirmative action helps get positions. Even in a
Mm.
society of that, black men are still making more than black women. But you still have women saying, you got to be more. What more do you want? We came what you
Well,
want us to be. How about you
these,
do reciprocate that same value? But women are saying, no, we
well,
don't want it, but we want the outcomes, the good outcomes, but we don't want to do the work for the good outcomes. See, and that's the problem. Men do not get into a relationship with a woman that ain't willing to self-improve herself, because she's not willing to do the hard work that it takes to even do herself and to be in a relationship, because it's hard work. It's not some easy thing, because if it was some easy things, we all would have it. If it was easy thing to be married, we all will be married and stay in the marriage. It's not
hmm.
easy. A woman that is not willing to do self-improvement, don't be in a relationship with her, man. That's a clear sign. That is a clear sign that she's not willing
Yeah,
to do the work
that
for the
that
long run for the
that should be
relationship.
established in the beginning, not
Right.
6 months into it, not 9 months into it, so you can go out and talk about that woman because she wouldn't improve, blah blah blah. No, I didn't marry her. I was with her for 3 years, but I didn't marry her because she didn't improve. She didn't, she didn't want to. approve. What was it saying? Not approve. Improve.
Self-improve.
She didn't want to improve any her qualities.
Right.
Um, you don't wait till months and years and all that to go on to do that so you can be angry about the situation. You establish that dating weeks in time. When you go out on a date, that's a perfect topic to talk about. Listen, tell me about yourself. Once you get to know these things, you want to know if this person is really for you after a couple dates. After a couple dates, then you can start seeing what you don't like in that person and ask that person, hey, are you willing to change this? Do
No, it's
not
not even.
wait to
It's not
six
even
months to
that.
a year.
Don't even wait to that. Have this understanding. If a girl says that she don't, if a girl, if a especially a black woman, because
Mhm.
there's always trauma behind our struggle.
Mhm.
If a woman says that I don't go to therapy or I'm not willing to, that is a red flag, fellas. That is a red flag. If she's not willing to go to therapy to self improve herself, or she is not currently in therapy to self improve herself,
Mm-mm.
that is a red
Peter,
flag. It's a red flag
no,
because
Peter.
she's not willing. That's off the back. I'm telling you, this is why
How?
divorces end the way they do.
Wait a minute. When you going on a date with somebody, you're gonna ask them are they willing to go to therapy?
Are you? Yes. If are you? How are you into? You don't have to ask them like that. You can be like, are you into self improvement? Like, do you watch? Do you are you into that? Have you thought about therapy? You can even bring up the black struggle if you in a date with a black girl. You're like, we got a lot of trauma, past traumas in our lives. It's ways to bring up that conversation to see where their head is at. Hey, do you go to therapy, ma'am? All right, bye. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about asking questions, probing questions to try to find out, hey, are you into stuff like this?
But the bottom line is, will you go to therapy?
If
That's
are
the
you
bottom
willing
line,
to, or are
right?
you currently?
So, right. So that's the bottom line.
That's the bottom
That
line.
that. Mm-mm.
You got to be into self improvement. If you're not into self improvement,
I totally
it's a
disagree
red
with the
flag.
therapy. I totally disagree with the therapy
Why?
question and everything because how are you gonna just come off and find out ask this person stuff like this
You can
and
ask them
you
anything you
haven't
want.
got
It's your
you
date
haven't
too.
right, but you haven't really got to know them to know
Right.
if that is needed.
See, guess what? And guess what? The problem is this. There's a lot of dude, and like myself, when before I was married, I had to be real
Mhm.
careful because believe it or not, I get along with a lot of people, especially in relationships. Um,
Mhm.
so I had to be careful because I could
Mhm.
any woman that likes me, I can make it work because I'm flexible. I'm not a person that's like, oh my gosh, you better do this. I'm not no workhorse. I'm not nobody like that.
Mhm.
So I had to be careful. You know how much money I wasted, time I wasted. If I
Mhm.
had somebody to teach me to say, hey, you need to ask certain questions up front. You need to make sure that you're not wasting your time or wasting her time.
Right.
Ask these questions. It's like a woman should be asking, hey, what do you see? What do you see in a few years? Do you see marriage? Do you see what are your goals? What are you trying to do? Are you dating for marriage or are you dating just to, have fun? See what's out there. Ask these tough questions while you're dating, ladies. Just like men should
Mhm.
ask tough questions too. Women
Mhm.
get upset why what men say, what do you bring to the table? But he needs to know, especially if he's serious about a real relationship with women.
Mhm.
You need to know what does he bring to the table as well. These are tough questions so you don't waste time. And the sad part about it, and it's not fair, it's just biology. It's just the way we were made up. Women have a smaller window
Mhm.
to get marriage, kids, family than men do. Men don't start getting to their highest earning potential to about 40, 45. That's where their highest earning potential gets. Once they have the earning potential at 40, 45, they might say, hey man, I need somebody that can, I want legacy now. They can turn to it so they can wait all the way to 45 if they want and have kids.
Okay.
Women can't wait to 45 to have kids. Her biological clock gonna been ticking. She in geriatric pregnancy at 35. So
Let
she
me
got a
tell
smaller
you,
window.
mine's still ticking.
But what I'm saying is most women are not like that. And if you go to a
Mhm.
doctor right now, the doctor will say you're still might be in geriatric pregnancy. You're still in geriatric pregnancy. You might
Mhm.
still could get pregnant. I've seen plenty of women that have babies out of 40 something years old, but it's high risk. And some of them
Mhm.
don't make it. But what I'm saying is women have a smaller window. So all
They
this
do.
playing in hot girl summer in during their 20s and then trying to get serious and bunker down at 30. All that need to stop if you want certain outcomes. If you want to be a single person for the rest of your life, go ahead. Dude, party up, live it up, hot girl summer till you 65. We see you in there shaking in the club
All
at
this.
65. If that's what you want to do it. Have at it. It's your life, do what you want. But if you want certain outcomes, you can't be just wasting your 20s and your 30s. You have a certain window to where
All
certain
this is
things.
to attention. Mhm.
Right. But when you see what's happening, women are saying, oh, I could play around in this tunnel and think there's going to be a good man at the end of the tunnel waiting for them. Or I'm just waiting for my queen to be ran through by other men and while out in hot girl summer through her 20s and 30s. And then, oh, I can't wait till she comes to me after she's been emotionally damaged by several different men.
Uh,
And as she also spent a time of self-reflection and being by herself for 7 to 12 years, that means that her
mhm.
relationship skills are lacking because she hasn't been in a relationship in so long. And so she's going to just be perfect for me at the end of the day. That's what women are hoping. And I'm saying that's not how life works. In our community, 1 in 4 women, 1 in 4 women will marry in their lifetime. Lifetime.
Wow.
These are the statistics.
Well,
Blackdemographics.com. What
well,
I'm saying,
women these days is now they're actually not really wanting to be in a relationship anymore. A lot
okay.
of them
Some
is
some of
opting
them
out.
some of them are not equipped to
They're
either. But go ahead.
That may be true, but a lot of them that have been in long term relationships, they're pretty much just like they have this attitude of I'm tired.
Mm.
They're tired of going through to come out to go through again to try, trying to find the perfect one. It's the feedback that I've been getting
There's
from
no
a lot of
perfect one.
women.
That's where they're wrong.
Well, it's a perfect one for you. It's a
Oh,
perfect one
there's a
for
perfect one
you.
for you. All these
Hmm.
women in their 40s and 50s and they get in their 60s. Oh, they waiting for their perfect one. They gonna meet them.
Perfect for
And,
them,
and
not
yeah,
perfect
they
in
go.
general.
Oh no, they gonna meet the perfect one. It's gonna be Jesus.
I've seen that meme going around, but yeah, I think a lot of women nowadays they're just getting to the point where they just want their own happiness. They tired, especially the black women that I speak to.
And I
Um,
get it.
they just tired. They feel like that their loyalty to the black man was just stepped on and disrespected. And so a lot of them are just deciding that they want to be alone. And then a lot of them are still trying to get the black man's attention. That's why they out there doing cartwheels and swinging upside down and doing all types of stuff
All the
and
wrong stuff that they've
doing
been listening.
having sexual activities that they normally wouldn't have, but
Doing all the wrong stuff.
because the black man has ventured out and experienced other things, the black woman is now playing catch up. She got to catch up to what everybody else is doing so she can be able to please the black
And,
man to
and
bring
she's
him
still
back
not
home.
listening.
She's
It don't
not
take all
listening.
that. It don't take all that. Very simple. Men are very simple. But the problem is it's gonna take work. But black women don't
Mm.
want to work. I guess they tired. But no, if they was really tired, they will stop putting on and weave. They will stop putting on makeup. If they was truly tired, they will stop
Ooh,
doing
baby,
certain
let me
things.
say.
I'm being real. I'm being real.
Now,
I'm coming for
now
it
you're
today.
stepping. Wait, Peter, I gotta stop you. So
Hmm.
you said weave and makeup. Women don't always put that on for the man. When does the woman come in and please herself? If weave and makeup pleases her, isn't it acceptable for her to please herself as well? If the man love her or if the man want to be with her and she's happy with herself, why can't the man be happy with
I'm not saying that women don't put on makeup for themselves.
her?
I'm saying that's part of the reason. That's
It's
not
part of the
all of the
reason
that's
why.
not that's not the whole entirety why they put on makeup. They do it for themselves and other things, whatever it is, for women's approval, men's approval, to be accepted in the society of women of that wear makeup, whatever it is. They don't just do it for themselves. It's part of it for themselves, part of it, but not all of it. You can't say 100% do it for myself. Because if it was
Maybe
true, a lot of these women will keep their pictures in their camera roll instead of putting it on social media. If it's for yourself, when I take a picture and it's for myself, y'all don't see it.
I
If I
mean,
take
yeah,
a
I mean,
if I take a picture right now,
uh
I
huh.
take pictures. I got plenty of pictures in my not plenty, but I got pictures in my camera roll that y'all will never see because it was just for me.
Mhm.
If
Well,
I
they may
if I
have that
planned to
too.
do a picture and I was about to post it, oh, I'm gonna post this. Oh, they gonna in my mind, I might even say, oh, they gonna hate it. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, oh, I look cute. Oh, I gotta show this. I'm gonna post this, and I'm doing it just to post it. It ain't
They
for
may
me.
they may have that too, but sometimes as a woman, you want to share your moment with other people. It might have been a great moment. You might have been happy in that picture. You may
Right.
want to share that moment, but that don't
It's
mean
for
that
the
you put on
sharing of
makeup
it's the
somebody
sharing of that
else
moment. You doing
so
it for the
somebody else can
sharing of the
approve.
moment.
No, that's not what I said. I said you could have had a great moment and wanted to share the moment with other people to let them see.
Right.
Not to say that you had that moment specifically to share with them. That's not how that goes. You can have a moment and say, oh, wow, I was looking really nice and I look happy. Let me share this with my friends and family. And it's sharing a moment, not let me make this moment just for them to see me. Now, that's two different things.
Sharing the moment is still a reason to do it for other people.
No,
It
not to
is.
do it for other people, Peter. Listen,
You
not to
sh-
do it for
the
other people. You're
action of
doing it.
sharing it for other people is doing it for other people.
Okay,
That's what
you
I'm
shared
saying.
the moment to allow them to see your happiness,
Right.
but the
So
original, the
some
original,
people look happy and be miserable as
the
hell. They
root,
look
the
happy
root
and they
of
take a
it.
picture.
That's different. That's two different things. They're taking a picture to make themselves look happy to for social media or for people to
Right.
see.
And even if
I'm
they
talking
happy,
about
they take that
you being
happiness
in
and
a
they share it
moment.
so people could
I'm talking
perceive
about
them
you
to
being
be
in a
happy.
moment. I'm talking about you being in the moment and you genuinely happy and you're like,
Right.
hey, let me share this moment with my family and friends. That's two
Because
different
I
things.
want them to know that I'm happy.
Not necessarily. Not
What
necessarily I want them to know that I'm happy. It's
I,
just
I
sharing
want
a
them to see
moment
the
with them.
smile on my face because it looked good.
Peter,
We're splitting
stop.
hairs here. We're splitting hairs here.
Stop.
Women don't
Stop.
do it 100% for
Stop.
themselves. Because if you did it 100% for yourself, 100%, we will not see those pictures. We will not
I
see
beg to
them.
differ. I beg to differ on that.
If you were doing it
I,
100% for yourself, even the act of posting it is for a reason. And it ain't
to
just for
share,
yourself because you
to
don't.
share.
Because did you know if you can share a picture on social media and put it private, only I can see it?
Of course, I was just
Right.
about to get to
All
that.
women know
I
this.
haven't.
So therefore, they either made the picture for themselves, but in the back of their mind, they had, oh, I'm gonna share this on social media if it looks good.
Not all the time. Not all the time, Peter.
Even
Not
if
all
they
the
don't,
time.
I'm gonna share this picture. I'm going
I
to look
have
at,
a
oh, that
group.
looks good. I want people to see me feeling myself looking good. Share it. In that moment when I took the picture, it was for me. but now it's for everybody and me.
So at that moment, that's why I say at the root,
So
that's
therefore, it's
where
not just
that's
for
where
them.
the picture originally was just for them. It was originally just for them. Now I was going to say, for instance, I have a family group. So family and friends want to see family and friends. And so they may want us to post a picture of me and the kids or something. We
Hmm.
post a picture that don't say I just took that picture. It could be a picture from 2 years ago. I
Hmm.
didn't just take that picture just to give to for social media to see. That doesn't mean that. That means I'm just sharing the moment with you.
Right. And the sharing of the moment is what you're doing for other people. That's what I'm saying. What, because we can split hairs and say what this person was thinking,
We can.
what this person wasn't thinking, and this person might have been thinking, but what could be possibly in
All
the back
I'm
of the head.
saying,
We could go all day with that. But
the
even
original point of
I'll
the
give you
picture was not to please
okay,
others.
I'll give you the original point of the picture. That's still splitting hairs, but I'll give it to you. The original point of the picture is to have it to myself. The sharing part is for everybody else. Bim. So therefore, what I was still
That came
saying
after.
was incorrect. It wasn't incorrect. It was absolutely right what I was saying. The sharing of the picture, if it was just for you, you
Hmm.
would not share it. The fact that you're sharing it is that you're sharing it for other people.
In the sharing, maybe so, but
What you mean maybe so?
the original point of the picture was not to share and to give it to everybody. But after you took the picture, maybe later on down the
Does
line,
it look
six
good?
months
Go
down the
ahead.
line, no, not because it looked good. It's not always because it
Oh,
looked
so
good. It could
oh,
be
so
a silly
oh, she gonna
picture.
sh- oh, you gonna shut. Oh, so
It
you
could
gonna
be a
share?
silly picture. Yes, it could be a silly picture. It could be a funny moment. It could be any type of moment. It's not just because I look sexy in this picture or I look good in this picture. It's not always that. It's just sharing moments. Like people don't visit people like they used to. People don't, they don't hang out like they used to. So social media is what we have now.
I get it, but it's still doing it for somebody else. We splitting hairs here. That's
We're
what we
gonna
doing.
split on. Let's
We
just
done
go
split.
on.
We done split so many hairs right now because it don't matter. Because now you're trying to you trying to say what was in somebody's mind when they took when as they're taking a picture.
I said that
They
from the
could be
beginning.
they could be thinking about pizza because they was
I
hungry.
said that from the beginning. Yeah, you
They
thinking
put
about pizza. Let me take a
So,
picture of me
but
and my
that's
pizza.
splitting hairs.
You
But
took
when you
your
sat
picture.
down
You
eating the
had
pizza and you were looking through your camera roll and you said, I look cute there, or that's funny. Oh,
uh-uh.
I want to
It could
perceive, make it perceive that I am a funny person or a fun person. I'm gonna share it to other people that I have a good time. I'm sharing the good time
because
to
we
other
talking
people.
about pizza. Because we talking about pizza, and I do have a food group. I could be like, hey, let me share my pizza to the food group. It's not always about
Still
if you
splitting
looking
hairs.
good.
We
It's not
talking
always
about
about
in
let me
general
make
on
somebody
somebody's
see me because I'm
page.
looking
On
good.
somebody's page. We're talking about in general on somebody's page. We're not talking about I'm part of a food group. Hey, I think the food group would like this. You're still taking a picture for the food group, but whatever. That's splitting hairs. But what I'm saying is, in general, when you have somebody posting online,
We're
they're
not
not
gonna roll
doing
over that.
they're not doing it just for them. We can agree about that. They're not doing it just for them. When they sharing it, they're not doing it just for them. They're not posting it on online to say
After they
this is
share
just
it,
for
then
me.
after they share it, I think then we going into the point of we want other people to see
Thank you.
what
That's
happened
all
this
I was
day,
saying.
or
I'm
we
saying
want other people to see this
if the
moment.
picture was just for
But I'm
you,
sticking with the
completely just for you.
original.
If the picture
I'm
was
sticking
just for
with it.
you, you would never share it.
Not necessarily, Peter. That's not how that goes. You probably have a picture of your phone right now that you never intend to share. But something comes up and you need a picture. Boom, you got that picture already there. When you took that picture, you was not thinking, "Oh, I'm going to share this with the people. I'm going to
That's
give this
far
to."
in between. We're splitting
No,
hairs.
I'm
That's far in
saying the
between. That's not every
original state of the picture does not always mean for me to share. Do you share it down the line? If you do, then yeah,
because
you're sharing it with the people.
in the back of my mind, I took this picture. Yes, it's for me, but it's a possibility of sharing. because I'm on
That's not
social
how that
media.
always go.
For the most part, it does. I know I know some women that will
Whatever.
have pictures from 2 years ago, and they just saving and taking a bunch of pictures every time they step out. They're taking a bunch of pictures, so they can have just a random picture. They can go, oh, I got plenty of stuff for the gram. I got plenty of stuff for Facebook. So I, even when I don't feel like taking pictures, I can always post to give the perception
I,
of I'm always doing something. You
well,
forgot
I
that
mean
people,
that.
that's a trend. That's a trend that people live through Facebook and act like their life is different than it's not. You know that's a trend. So why are we splitting hairs right
People,
now?
no, people may do that. I'm not disputing that,
Most
but
people.
I am saying that you can have a picture in your phone that you did not originally think I'm going to take this for Facebook so everybody can see that I'm happy. No, you're not going to always say that. It could just be a random picture. Hey, let me take this picture. Or hey, I'm eating my food look good. Let me take this picture. It could be for yourself. But eventually, one day, not all the time, one day somebody may ask for a picture or in the picture might become public. I'll say it like that. But the original state of taking the picture is not always to show off, Peter.
Nobody said nothing about. See, that's why I say we split hairs, because no one said anything about taking the pictures while you chilling at the house. That's for Facebook. What I'm saying is, you have pictures that you share on Facebook for Facebook purposes, and you cannot say those things that are shared on Facebook is just for you. When you don't hit the button, only me can see it.
After you hit the button, you have made it public or made it to
Right.
where your
And you,
friends
and
and
it ain't
family
just
can
for
see
you.
it.
I can get it that it might be a percentage
At
for
that
you.
moment, at that moment,
Right. So
at
what
that
I'm
moment, from that
right.
moment forward, then yeah, it's not just for you. But
So
before
right. So
that
whether
moment, when
you
you
took it,
originally took the
whether you took
picture,
it for the king and queen of England, whether you took it for Obama and Michelle, whether you took it for because Jesus told you to take this picture, it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, when you share a picture and you made it public, you did it for not just you, you did it for other people too. That's all I was saying. I wasn't saying, hey, there's
after you
many
share it,
different reasons. There's many different
after
reasons
you
why people
share
take a picture. There's many different reasons. I might take a picture because I want to take a picture because I want to see how it looks, how my face looks. So I took a picture.
it.
There's
Hmm.
many different reasons why we take pictures. But when
There's
I'm
many
saying
different
is, when you
reasons.
share it, it ain't just for you. Because if that picture was just for you and it's just for you, you would keep it in your camera roll. You would not share it. There's plenty of times we take pictures and we might take inappropriate pictures and we keep it for us. It is just for us. I understand that.
Hmm.
But once you say, I'm going to take this and share it, you're not keeping it to yourself. It's for other people too, to appreciate or
At
whatever.
that at that moment, yes.
Right. So that what I'm saying
At,
is, if it
at
was
that moment.
truly just for yourself, you would never share it. There are certain things we will not share on Facebook because Facebook will
Hmm.
kick you off of it.
Yeah, that's
So
true. They will kick you
therefore,
off.
when you don't share certain things, it is truly just for you. Those things are just for you. And if you share it, it was possibly a possible for other people too. It's a possibility. But you can't say, "Oh, I took it just for me, and only reason why I'm sharing it is just for me." No,
Hmm.
that's what I'm saying. That's the cap. That's what I'm saying. Women need to stop the cap on that.
Not the sharing is just for me. No, Peter. But I get
Okay,
what you're saying.
right.
After you
So,
hit the share button, it's now for you and the people.
right.
But I still stick by what I said. The original part of taking a picture may not have been for that. So we're gonna agree to disagree on that.
And we actually agreed. But
Let
go
me ask
ahead,
you this.
continue. We actually agreed on that.
Whatever.
But no, but seriously,
I wanted to ask you about the criticizers. Sometimes what I said, what I okay. Um, criticize. So sometimes when people criticize people,
mhm.
um, I was asking, can they accept the fact that their judgment had no effect on people? You know, sometimes somebody criticize people and it just don't have no effect. They be like, okay, whatever, and they just keep it moving. And
Mhm,
I said, how did the rejection cause them to respond? So the person that's criticizing the other person,
mhm.
um, if they criticize them and the person just reject it, don't pay it no mind, keep it moving. Do you feel like that actually affect the criticizer? Like, because sometimes I feel like I was saying before, that people are find insecurities about a person to criticize them, to pull them off a level that they're on, or to, you know, just basically bring them lower than what they are, set them back, throw them back.
Yeah, I mean that
Did you
happens to
say
an
something there?
extent. I think that happens.
You think that happens?
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Now, let me ask you this. Women that have morals and values, do you feel like they're more accepted to criticism?
They have what? What kind of
Morals
value?
and values, their morals and values,
Oh, so women that have morals and values, they're accepted the criticism.
hmm or you think they're more accepted to it? Because for me, men has actually built me. I'll say that. I get criticized by men a lot. You'll be surprised of my inbox if I post a picture and they feel like that they disapprove. It ain't got to be nobody I'm with. It could just be a man that think highly of me, that may respect me. They may be like, "Hey, why did you post that? That don't look good for you." Blah blah blah. So I might take the post down,
Right.
um, because I respect. And like I say, I think it depends on how women feel about men criticizing them. Me, I can respect it. I can understand. And I can, especially when they come in a positive way. Don't come at me talking crazy now, cause you about to get cut off. You know what I'm saying? To get
I
cut
get
off.
it, but it
But
still
if
is
you
the
come
truth.
to me respectful and you letting me know, you telling me the truth, because at the end of the day, you have to evaluate yourself. When somebody criticizes you, listen, a person that criticizes you can really build you to be something special.
No.
Because
I-
you have, at the end of the day, you have to evaluate yourself to see, is this criticism legit? Do
My
I really need to pull back from this?
my philosophy is this: is that I don't. It's not a valid excuse to um not receive constructive criticism because
Hmm.
somebody said it wrong or said it in a different way that I pretty much said that I would take it differently because that's neither here nor there because a person could take something different, say they would take something differently and they really wouldn't. Um, um,
Hmm.
I can't go to God at the end of my life and say, God, well, I would have done right, I would have went, but that person said it wrong, or I would have went, but the wrong person, you sent the wrong person to say it. That's not going to be an excuse not to do what they know to do right. Or I would have treated the person right and fairly if only they were a different person. You're going to be held accountable for your right and wrong. You doing what you know to be right. You're not going to be you can't push past the blame and say, "Oh, I would have done what I know to be right if somebody else would have said it." God is going to be like, "What?
So are
No."
you saying if a person approach you in a negative, because you have all different types of criticism, you got negative, positive, corrective, you got a whole lot of different type of way you can criticize a person. So you telling me if a person steps to you in a negative way that you won't reject?
I can say something in a different with no expression, with me just saying words, and somebody is going to take it bad. Somebody's going to take it negatively. So do I try to there's so many people on social media, there's so many people in this world, and if I'm speaking to the world and speaking to everybody, somebody's not going to like what I said. So do I spend time and hours and effort into trying to tailor what I'm saying to somebody so I can make it more digestible to whatever their stomach can digest, which is I really don't know what their stomach can digest. And so you see the rabbit hole that we can continue going down, trying to tailor what we're gonna say. At the end of the day, you doing all that, you might as well not even say it because you know talked yourself out of saying it.
Just
So
being kind.
so
Just
mine
being kind, but still
it
getting your
it
point across.
but but what I'm saying, what I'm saying is that you can try to have the kindness and loving intentions, but if that person wants to have a problem with it, they will find a problem with it, especially if they don't want to fall suit of
Absolutely.
what you're doing to the truth. So
Absolutely.
therefore, just say it. Just do it. Just like
But
Nike said,
but
just do it. Just do it.
the percentage of the
I'm
people
not
that you
I don't care
probably
about the
can get by,
percentage. That's not my job. My job is not to care
okay.
about percentage. That's God's job.
You just
We try to
okay, you don't
manipulate.
care about who.
No, I don't care about that. That's not my job. My job is not to manipulate outcomes. I'm not a manipulator. I don't try to
No,
say,
you don't.
"Hey, how about if
It's
I
not
say it
trying
like
to.
this, you're going to get it if I say it like this, and you're going to
Your
do it like
goal
this."
should be to have the people to understand or receive
Right.
the
And
criticism
what
that
I
you're
say is
giving out. But if you're
what I say
negatively giving it, the
extremely
end result, you
understandable.
will not. They won't receive it. A lot of
It
people
they don't
won't receive
they heard it. I don't
negativity.
it's not my job to make them receive something. And that's what the problem is with the world today. We try to make people digest what we give them.
Not
That's
make.
not yeah, right. You're trying to manipulate the way in how they're going to
Uh-uh.
receive something. You see what I'm saying? We're
hmm
trying to
Well,
manipulate
I don't
outcome.
think it's manipulating. I just think
Well,
it's
we're trying to control what is uncontrollable, which is outcomes. I can't control and make somebody listen to what I'm saying. I can just say it, and whatever I could drop knowledge, and if that whatever the knowledge drops and how it drops, I do not control how the knowledge falls on people. All my
mm,
job is to do is to drop the knowledge. God increases people's intellect. God increases people's understanding of things. I can't say, "Hey, please believe me, understand me. How do you want me to
mm,
say it? Can I
I
say it
think
in a
you're
way that makes you
exaggerating.
understand?" No, I'm not exaggerating. This is just my resolve. My resolve is
Mhm.
different. My resolve ain't
Yeah.
what everybody else resolve is. What everybody else resolve, they say, "Hey, if I don't get 100 likes, I ain't doing it no more." No, my resolve ain't that. I don't care about the likes. I care
hmm
about me saying what I am supposed to say, whether people want to hear it or not. There could be a time where people don't want to hear it at all. I'm a Christian. I believe in what the Bible says. There will come a time where people will bring have itching ears and bring to them teachers that tickle their ears that they like. At that point,
hmm
there's no all our job is that in that same scripture it says tell the truth in season and out of season. I live
I'm
by
not
that. By
disputing
that.
that. Tell the truth.
So
I'm not disputing any of that.
what I'm saying is, people are going to still hear what they want to hear. They're going to get teachers that tell them what they want to hear. Either way, if I'm trying to say it in a specific way to try to get them to 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 uh to digest it or get it better, I'm wasting my time because that's not my job to try to control how people will receive
hmm
it. My job is to say it, to plant the seed. Somebody else will come water it, and ultimately God will give the increase. A lot of times we try to play God and try to increase people by telling
Uh-uh.
them this way, and I'm gonna say it like this, and I'm gonna put a but and an and in front of it so you can
No,
believe me in
no,
this kind of way.
that's
Got time
no,
for it.
that's not what I'm trying to say at all. What I'm trying to say is a kind word, even if it's criticism, is better than something really negative or saying it in a negative tone. You may feel that you can say it however you want to say it, and you're gonna reach whoever you want to reach, and however you want to reach them. There's a people for you. There's a people for everybody. So there's a set of people set aside just for you. When you tell it like it is and don't soften anything, fine. There's a people for you. But there's also a people uh, that would like it said in a more kind way. Even though the criticism still stands,
Right.
they receive it better. They don't just shut the door on you. You know, when people hear you like, saying something crazy or saying it in a terrible tone, they ain't even gonna hear what you got to say. Soon as you start, it's gone. They don't even want to hear nothing from you. It's over
Okay.
with.
Okay. Because because people are real good at closing their eyes and ears.
Is that me or you?
Well,
Is that me or you? One of us. Can you still see me good and hear me good?
yeah, I can.
Cause you froze on my end
No, I was just being still. You see me?
and you breaking up on my end.
Can you hear me now?
I could see me moving, but yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. But
Say
yeah, I
something again.
like my resolve is like people are going to feel how they want to feel. I don't care if you try to say it in the softest of tones. I don't know how you can really manipulate the tones when you texting, but hey, people say we could do it. Um, so that it, you just gonna. My job is to say it. I've gotten to a place where I'm not trying to please anybody. I'm not trying to
Mhm.
get people to like me. I'm not trying to get people to uh I'm not trying to garner support of people because I said something that tickled their ear, because that's all superficial anyways. My job is to say it. The outcomes of me saying it belongs to God. It don't belong to me. The reception of what people hear and the parts that people hear doesn't belong to me. It belongs to God. God will have me say
Mhm.
it possibly in a certain way because it goes out of what he wants. His house, this house belongs to him.
Mhm.
I'm a gardener. He says, Peter, plant the seed over in them over in that bed. I go to that bed and I
Mhm.
plant the seed. He might say, slow down. I don't know why he's telling me to slow down, but I'm gonna slow down. He might say, hey, kind of do it like this. I'm not doing that. He's telling me, hey, say it like this, do it like this. It's for a purpose. What people try to do is try to say, hey, I know better, so I'm gonna do it like this, and I'm gonna spend time to try to master how I'm gonna say it so I can kind of infiltrate
I
people's
don't know.
thoughts.
I don't
I
know
ain't doing
about
all that.
that.
I ain't
I don't
doing
know
all
about
that.
that. I just know a kind word is better than a harsh one. I do know that, and
Yeah,
I
but
know that it'll reach a
the,
lot of people
if
a
I'm
lot
saying
better,
if I'm
and they'll
saying
receive it
something,
better.
what I say is not harsh. It's just the truth. Why is
Not
why is the
saying the
truth?
criticism is, but the way you say
But
it
see,
is what I'm
see, and
saying.
see, and that's where that's where you lose me because it's the way.
Hmm.
Wait, what do you mean way? I said the truth. People, listen. I can say, well, 70% of murderers were coming that male murderers, aggressive murderers come from 70% of them come from a single mother's household. Oh, you like, oh, you can't blame it on the women. I didn't blame it on the women. I just told you the truth. I just told you a truth. And that's the
Hmm.
problem. What people are trying to do and trying to make you do, hey, don't garden like that. This is how you do it.
Hmm.
Oh,
Right, like I
don't
said,
do it like that.
there's a people for you. There's a people for you that will receive it however you do it. But for me, I just feel like if you
It's
say it
not a
nicely,
however I do it. It's I do it. And that's the that's where you lose me. It's not how you do something. You do something. You just do all
you
I'm doing
still
is I'm
it's
sharing
still a
truth.
way. It's
I'm
still a
sharing
way.
truth.
It's still a way, regardless of what you say. It's still a way that you say it. It's a tone. That's a way. It's a way that you say your truth,
I get
however
I
you
get
say it.
I get how people say that you catch more flies with honey, but I'm not catching flies. These are people. Like we are more
You
intellectual
know
than
that's just the
flies.
same. You
I
know,
know, and
stop.
it's terrible, and it's terrible. We say a lot of sayings that are terrible. There's a lot of sayings that were terrible. They try to say, well, what happens is I'm not. What people don't get. I'm not trying to
Mhm.
be sweet nothings mixed in with a little bitterness. I'm not trying to do that.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to say
Mhm.
it. I'm just saying it.
I get it.
There's no emotion behind it. There's no anger behind it. There's no nothing behind it. It's just saying
Peter,
it.
sometimes it perceives to be there's anger
Right,
behind it.
perceived. And that's where, see, you said it. Thank you for saying it. People will perceive whatever they want to. So why am I spending time and effort into trying to manipulate what they perceive? I'm
I
I've
mean, you
done
don't
it.
have
I've
you
done
don't.
this for
It's
too
your choice.
long.
You don't have
I've done
to.
it.
You don't have to.
Look. I've done this for too long. I used to do this
Mhm.
with white people in
Mhm.
private groups. I've
Mhm.
done this for too long to understand how people react to things.
Uh huh.
I came to a resolve to where I used to be like, okay, let me say it like this, because if I say it like this, they'll understand it and then they'll like me better. And then I do this. If I say it like this, they will receive it the way and I was wasting so much time trying to cater to people's whims instead
Wait.
of just saying it. Sometimes I would get to where, oh, I'm not gonna say that. It's gonna be received bad. So I'm just not gonna say it. And then I don't
Why
say
was
it.
you wasting time when you was just dropping the truth and keeping it going?
Right. That's what I'm saying. So what
How
I'm
how wait? How was you wasting time?
well, because no, it's not just dropping the truth and keep it going. That's what I'm doing now. Dropping the truth and keeping it pushing. What I was
Mhm.
doing before was trying to take that truth and then even though I got the truth, there's no feelings behind it, but I'm gonna add this, add that, add this because this
But
person,
we're
I know this
emotional
type of, I
creatures.
know the hype, I know, huh?
We're emotional creatures. I mean, how would you
Right.
not take that in consideration?
Why? Because there's so many different emotions. I'm not. My job isn't to try to manipulate or control people's emotions. That's not my job. It don't matter if I try to say it the sweetest as ever. The sweetest be like, oh, you just, and you're it
So,
don't
do you
matter.
care if you make
I
somebody
cannot
cry?
manipulate somebody's emotions. They're
Do you
gonna
care if
feel
you
what
make
they want,
somebody cry?
huh?
Do you care if you make somebody cry?
I don't make anybody cry. I
I'm
don't make any.
asking.
I don't make
Wait.
anybody cry in that kind of
How do
way.
you know that?
I don't.
How do you know
I
that?
don't do anything to anybody. I don't make anybody cry.
Your work when you speak the truth in the form that you do it in,
What
do
form?
you feel
Just dropping it? I'm dropping it. This is the truth. Here. Oh, you can't say it like that. What I say it, I just said it. I didn't say there's no feelings behind it. There's no tone behind the text message. There's no tone
Mhm.
behind anything. And this is how I talk. So oh, so I should change the way I talk. I should be different for you and for a million different people. So you know how many different people I have to be to please different people? I have to be 50,000 people to please
Not
50,000 different
necessarily.
personalities. No, I'm gonna say
Not
how I'm gonna say it.
necessarily. Not necessarily. But I get it. If that's how you say it, that's how you say it. All I'm
I just,
saying is
but I'm talking about, and you're talking about the tone for me just texting something. I dropped it. I there was a post
so
where I said,
give me an example
I'm
of
giving you
you
an example.
texting
There was
someone.
a post I said meant it's just straight facts. I didn't put no emotion behind it. I didn't say somebody had to do this, and I didn't call out no specific woman and said you women have to do this. I didn't do none of that. All I said was men can't control their weight. I mean, can't control their height, but women
Mhm.
can control their weight.
Control the weight. Hmm.
And they lost their everlasting minds. You saw how they lost it on that
Emotion.
post.
Emotion.
So it don't matter how I said it because I could have just said women are fat, which is I didn't say it like that because that's not how I speak.
Right.
I could have said that. That's changing. If that ain't changing the tone and being
You did
considerate,
change.
right?
I'll give you that. You changed
So
the
and
tone and you was considerate there.
they
But
blew up,
think
and
of
I didn't
it.
even say
You
nothing about losing weight either. I didn't even say nothing about
but
losing
you
weight.
still what you're looking at it from just a small percentage. You're looking at it from where the people that reacted versus if you would have said women are fat. You think you it was blown up. You think that post blew up. If you had said that, it would have been a big
Let me
difference.
let me be
So
honest.
even
No,
though
it's
it
not.
seems
I'm
like
telling you.
people went crazy
No,
on it,
they went
you
crazy.
know that for a
I'm a,
fact.
I'm gonna tell you straight up.
Uh-huh.
My dad hit me up.
I was just thinking
He's
about
not, he's not even on Facebook. He
it.
hit me
Uh-huh.
up and he went to a birthday party. And you know what he said?
What's that?
He said somebody told me that you're going on Facebook calling people fat. You know what I
Wow.
read the next morning after that post? So
What's
a
that?
white girl that I knew in high school. You know what she said to me? She said on a
What's it say?
post that was about me. She ain't
Mhm.
tagged me in it, but she was talking about me. She said, "Oh, he
Okay.
gonna call his daughters." He said he's gonna call his daughters fat. How'd you get that from that post?
Mm.
I've done this for too long to understand people's nature
Mm.
and people. And I've been talking to white people and their reactions to what I say. And what I do is it's people don't even realize that I don't just a post. I post because I'm having a social experiment.
Okay.
Everyone on social media that come in contact with my post, I am
Mhm.
watching what they say and what they do and how they react,
Mhm.
and I'm jotting it down. I'm literally doing it on. I'm doing it with a purpose. It ain't just coming out my behind. I
Right.
really calculate. Okay, I'm gonna say this and see how they respond.
Set the scene. Mhm.
So that's what I did with the white people when I used to come in them about racism and all that. And I used to break it
Mhm.
down for them, especially if they wanted one-on-one and come on the post. I used to break it down for them. Now I'm doing it and I'm talking to my black community and I'm talking especially to my sisters
Mhm.
in the community. This is what's happening. It doesn't matter how you say it. It doesn't matter what you do. If they don't want to hear it, they'll call you evil. I done been called PA ninja. I done been called gay. I done been called all kind of stuff, everything but a child of God. And I'm really a child of God. And all I did was drop knowledge, drop truth. I didn't even put no feelings behind it. I didn't say women are trash and this is why, or I didn't say women need to can never get it together and this is why. I didn't put no feelings behind it and then put nothing behind it. All I did was drop it,
Mhm.
and where it fell, the the control of how it falls depends
I,
on not me. I can't control
mhm.
how it falls. When I drop a piece of paper,
Mhm.
I can't control where it lands. You see what I'm saying?
I,
And that's what I'm
I
doing,
agree.
dropping truth. I can't control how it lands and how it touches somebody. My job is to
I
say it.
still think.
I'm
I
just
still think
planting the
that
seed.
it was better.
I said it quote unquote better if there's a way. And guess what? They still
Mhm.
got fat. I call people fat.
Some, some, some.
So
Because I'm gonna say
therefore,
this. I'm gonna say this. This is why I could say some. I read it. If you would have said fat, I probably would have reacted or commented. So the way you said it, and it's true. You know what you said was true. The way you said it, it spared some women. It spared some people. You may not see that, but it did. Because had you said fat, women are fat, that would have been a whole nother ball. I really think the post would have really exploded then.
but see, the problem is this. That's not the intention of the post. And people still got the word fat.
Right. Some
So,
of them. They
so
understand they understand what you were saying,
it was
but
big enough for it to come to my father, and it was big enough to come for them to be on a post and people occurring to this white girl saying that I would call my daughters fat. Daughters and fat didn't even come into the same sentence.
right, right, right.
So
And
that's what I'm
I'm
saying.
telling you,
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't. At that point, I've done
it
dealt with
matters.
people so
Yeah,
much. It doesn't matter. We like to
it
think
does.
it does. We like to think it does. It
No,
doesn't
I
matter.
know it does.
I'm just saying it.
I'm telling you, it does. I'm telling you firsthand, it does. For one, I am a woman. For two, I said I read the post. Three, I also said, had you said fat, there would have been a reaction and a comment. So I'm telling you, it does changes the game when you don't use certain terminology or come off as harsh. It does. Whether
But
you
even
believe it or
even
not,
if
it
I
does.
use the word fat, would it be
Hmm.
wrong?
It won't be wrong, but
Okay.
it's negative.
So
It feels
why is the
it
word
feels
see?
more
And
like
that's the
it
problem with
feels more like an
society.
attack. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And
you're
that's the
right. It's
problem. That's the
yes,
problem.
yes, society, all of that. We all living through
If
it.
I
We
use
all
the
going
word
through it.
lipids.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? How silly would that sound? That's silly. Like I'm
Yeah.
literally going
So,
extra mile to might help
but
somebody
okay,
else.
let me say
I
this. Since
receive
you
it.
said you're going the extra mile, if your goal is to help the people, you're gonna go the extra mile.
My goal is to inform the people. I can't help them. They have to help themselves with the information given.
So
We're
the
in a
information
stage.
you're given,
We're in a stage of. We're in the era of information. I cannot help anybody. I cannot
if the
help them.
information you're given will help them, then you will still go the extra mile because
It's the truth. The truth will
if the
set you free.
information if the information that you're giving them they're shutting out because they feel that you're too negative. If you can say the
They
same
can
thing two ways and one is going to be rejected and one will be
not
accepted. Like
true.
you say,
Not
you
true.
don't have time,
They
you
both can
don't
be
have you
rejected.
they can, but a lot of times if one is better said than the other one, it will be received better. Like I just told you, the situation with your post, I received it, but had you said it a different way, I probably wouldn't have, and I probably would have been on
And
the post, blah blah
right.
blah.
And then some people, if I
And
would have said it a different way,
and
they would have received it too. And you just
right,
wouldn't have
and
been
that's
one of them. So what I'm saying is, do I say forget you to get the other one? Do I say, hey, I don't care about you, but I care about the other one? You see how it gets fishy?
the majority of people want to hear it in a more positive way. Let's talk about the majority, not just one or two. The majority of people, you say your post blew up. I seen the post. I actually laughed at the post, but I knew the post was true. You know, I knew it was true. I thought you structured it well, the way you posted. Other people is looking under what you're actually saying, but you just didn't say it that way. So you're gonna have those people that feel like that, oh, he's actually trying to say this. Yeah, he is, but he didn't say it like that. So you still got the information. You should be able to
And if I
receive
said
it
it
and
the other
digest it
way,
better.
if I said it the other way, I'm gonna have those people too. And some people are gonna get in, some people are not. You
Now, if
see,
you said it the other way, I feel like the majority would have been irritated. I think what you have on your page now with that post
I
is the
had I
minority.
had I had a licensed therapist come on my post that kind of know me personally and said you're annoying. She took off the therapist hat real quick on
Hmm.
that post. So if she's a licensed therapist that understands the human brain better than I do, she
Hmm.
couldn't get that and understand what I was saying there. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, because she struggled with weight. I get it.
Wait, I was
She
gonna
struggled
say
with it.
just because she has a
Right,
certificate,
right,
listen,
right,
a person can be a
right.
spiritual
So
therapist. It can be way deeper than one with a certificate.
right. So I
So,
understand. So I understand. I understand that it can trigger, and
hmm
I'm okay with that
of course.
because I'm not in control of anybody's triggers. They are in control of their triggers. That's why I don't make anybody do anything. I didn't tell anybody to go lose weight.
But if
I
you're
didn't tell
trying to
nobody to
drop
go
the
gain
truth,
weight either. I just said I just named I just I just put up a true statement. People
hmm
took what it was for what it was.
or what?
They did
Right?
took
Okay.
whatever they wanted to take from it. My job isn't. I can only lead the horse to the water, but I can't make them drink. And I
And
can't be
you
like
can't lead
this
them
person.
if they don't want to hear it.
All
So if
right,
they
but
don't want to,
if
if they're
and,
not gonna
guess what? And
hear
they're
it,
just too
see,
thirsty.
right now, even though you've created some part of
You're kind of breaking up. You're breaking up now.
over here.
Okay, go ahead. I think you're back on. Yeah, you breaking up now. Can you hear me? Yeah,
Okay,
you back.
okay, you back? Okay,
Hmm.
okay. So yeah, I think that that post was a good example of showing that even if you say Like you say, it don't matter how you say it. Some people's not going to receive it. That is very, very true.
So
But
why
I just
spend
think
that
that
extra time in the day
because you want the
to
majority,
what you mean the majority? Because I don't know what the majority. It depends on
the
it.
major,
It
the
depends.
ma-
Hold on. It depends on what people going through that day. It depends on what they ate that day. Because a lot of things that we eat compares to our mental state. It depends on
hmm
who
hmm
said what to us as we were leaving the job. It depends what side of the bed we were on. All these variables. There's millions and millions and millions and millions of variables. I I used to care about the millions and variables. I've been doing this for too long to say to hell with the variables. I don't care about them no more. All my job
So
is to do is to drop the knowledge. They will take for it what they will. God, long as I trust God and to give me how it needs to be said when I say it, that's it. You might disagree with how it should be said. This person might disagree with what you said. That person might disagree with
right.
both of y'all. I might disagree with everybody. But the problem, the whole idea is that I drop the knowledge. And after I drop the knowledge, do what you will with it. Y'all gonna fight over it. Y'all gonna bicker over it. That's not gonna stop me from dropping knowledge. That's not gonna stop. That's not
My
gonna make me
grandfather,
hesitate. Okay. Oh, is it this? Oh, nah. This kind of person with this kind of disorder, psychological disorder, not gonna like it. But no. But if I say it like this for them, then this kind of person
no,
with
we
this
know you're
has
not gonna please
the middle.
everybody, Peter.
So
We
therefore,
know
I
you're
done
not gonna
learned.
please
I done did it for
everybody,
so long,
but
sis. I done did it for so long. And what I'm saying to you, what I've learned is to just say it. That's what I've
and that's
learned.
fine. Like I said,
Because
there is a
the
people
headache,
for you.
the headache that
There
it
is a people
takes
for you.
and the stress that it takes for you to try to make majority or the people that's going to might see your post, because remember it's all random, it's all algorithm that might see your
hmm
post, you'll go crazy. You'll go insane. So I've learned over the years I've been doing since 2018. For the years I've been doing it, all my job is to do is to say it how I'm going to say it.
Okay, and
Everybody,
remember now, even though you've been doing it a lot of years, it's never too late to learn something new. My
right?
grandfather always told me, speak to people how you would wish for them to speak to you. And so, if I
Tell
don't
me the
want
truth.
nobody negatively
Tell me the truth.
saying something,
Don't put no
the
feelings
truth is
behind it. Just
can
tell me the
still
truth.
the truth can still be there. See, you're a little different breed. You know,
I
your
am.
background is different.
I
Your
am.
background is different. So, you know, thinking about your dad and stuff, y'all have real thick, tough skin, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So everybody here don't really have that like that. You know, you was raised by him as well, so you got that skin too. But everybody don't have that.
Right.
And so
So
I just
now
think that
so what I've learned not to go and try to be in other people's homes trying to figure out
mhm,
what kind of upbringing they had to try to cater my words to their upbringing. This is me trying to manipulate, because that's what it is. You can look up the word manipulation. That's what it is. We try to manipulate the outcomes, manipulate how somebody will receive something. We can say that, or
you
we
don't
can
you
just
don't
say it.
have to be how they receive it. You just want them to receive it.
I don't want. That's not my job to
You,
make them receive it.
so you
That,
don't want.
that-
So if that's the case, so
that's not
you
my job.
so you can put.
That shouldn't be on my mind at all.
So if you just want to
Out
put
of
the
order
information
at that
out there,
point.
just
I'm
write a book. Just
I'm out.
just write a book.
No, I'm out of order. I'm out of order if I do that. I'm trying to play
You out of
God.
order if you write a book.
No, what I'm saying is I'm out of order if I try to make people receive something.
No,
I can't make anybody receive anything. All people will have to do not to
no,
receive something is to put their hands down, and they won't receive it. I could give them a nice pass. I could throw a nice tight spiral right to their chest, and all they got to do to not receive it is put their hands down.
no.
That's up to them. My job is
But he
done.
just
They're not going to be like, "Oh my gosh, how dared the quarterback throw it that way? He should have threw it even tighter." No, my job is to throw it. If it's in the vicinity for you to receive it or to catch it, They're going to be on the
Like
receiver
I
and say,
say again, I've
receiver
been
should
saying
have put
all
their hands
night,
up.
there's a people for you. There's a people for you that will receive that
Right.
like that.
There's
It
people that
may not
want to hear
always
the
be the
truth,
majority. It
and
may
they
not, and I'm not saying people don't want to hear the truth. The truth is
they
still, we're
don't.
still talking about
Especially taboo
giving the
stuff. They
truth.
don't want to hear the truth.
But
The truth of the
no,
matter, they
I'm
don't
still
want to hear
talking
the truth.
about giving the
They
truth.
they want to live in their delusion. That's what people want to do. This is what the Bible says. I believe the Bible is true. This is what the word of God said in 2 Timothy. He says that people
Hmm.
will turn to fables, delusion.
Hmm.
If that's not what's happening now, I don't know what is. He said people will pull together them teachers with itching ears. They will reject the truth tellers. And they
That's
will
been
bring
going
on
on.
people that are telling them fables because it tickles their ear, that
That's
make them feel good.
that's that's
They
been
want to
going on.
stay in the delusion, and what the truth does is smashes their reality of
I'm not
delusion.
saying don't give the truth, Peter. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying sometimes your deliverance it matters. It may not matter to you. Like you say, you
I
don't
didn't
have the
say
time or the
anything about
energy or
I
you
didn't
done did it
I'm not
already.
saying that it doesn't matter. I'm saying that I don't even take it in consideration when I say stuff because there's no feeling behind it. There's not an attitude behind it. There's no ulterior motive behind it. There's no I'm gonna say this to get them upset, and I'm gonna say it exactly. Trust me, if I want to get people upset, I know what to say. If I want to get people upset and mad, I definitely know what to say. If I want to
Oh
get
my
people to be
gosh.
happy, I know what to say. I would say
Mm,
women. If I want people happy, I'll be like women stuff don't. I can lie to them all day because that's what they want. They want to live in their delusion that they created. Remember this? Oh, we got this is my truth. These are my truths. My truth. My truth. Hey, I'm
hmm.
living in my truth, sis. That means, AKA, I'm living in my own delusion, sis. I'm living my own delusion. I'm here to present the truth because it shatters this your perception of what reality is. Because you are in the matrix, you decide to continue taking the blue pill and to stay in the matrix. When I present the red pill and try to explain to you that the realness of the world and what it's really like, it shatters your perception. Some people will even go into cardiac arrest. Some people's hearts will even
Mm.
fail them. Some people perception, they will end up in a mental hospital. Some people will need to seek a therapist. That's why I always preach therapy. Go to therapy because I go to therapy, and that's why I
Hmm.
always preach therapy. Some people will can't take the truth. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. Some people really can't handle it. So do
Mm.
I say, hey, because of all these variables, and I can say it
Hmm.
like this, or I can say it like that. I'm telling you, I used to bump my head against the wall trying to do that, and they would still get what I try to not let them get. I would say it in the opposite, completely opposite way and say, hey, I know they about to say this. So because I know they're going to respond to it in this way, I'm going to say it just like this. And they still said it. I used to bump my head against the
So
wall.
are you more comfortable now with just dropping it? It makes you more
I'm a
comfortable.
comfortable with dropping. I keep going. I keep pushing it. I just dropping push because then it was more of what do you mean? Blah blah
Oh,
blah. I'm trying to tell you. So then I will explain. I would take some time, but when I see that they're just there to argue, I keep it pushing, keep it moving.
let me
If they want
ask
me
you
to
this.
elaborate, go ahead.
Who have done what you're doing and was successful that you know or that you know of?
Mm, I mean, there's a lot of people that's doing it, doing what I'm doing, dropping truth. If you go to the manosphere, if you go to red pill community, even the black pill community, they're dropping
Hmm.
truth. There's no quote unquote feelings behind it. It's just straight truth. It's in your face
Hmm.
truth.
Hmm.
And they're doing it
Okay.
successfully. They got millions and millions of followers. People are doing it. But the problem
Hmm.
is if you're not in that echo chamber, you don't know that people are doing it.
Hmm.
So I'm in a different echo chamber. I
Hmm.
see the people that's around me in my circumference. I affect the people that's around me. So when I say something on Facebook or do something on Facebook, I present that same echo chamber to people. they're not used to that echo chamber. So it's gonna
Mm.
look crazy to them. It's gonna sound weird to them. It's gonna sound like I'm mean. It's gonna sound like they're gonna bring up all kind of stuff because I am shattering people's perception on reality. Of
Mhm.
course, they will react like this. Don't matter
Mhm.
how I say it. I'm shattering their own personal delusion.
Well, you're taking
I
the
call you know
blanket
what I
off.
call it?
That's
I
what it
call
is.
it I call it delusion withdrawals. That's what you
Mm.
see when
You
people
taking
been
the
hitting
blanket
it,
off, or you taking the pacifier away?
when people hitting themselves up with delusion and they taking that drug called delusion, and then you
Mhm.
try to get them off it and say, hey, you need to come get this truth. Guess what's
Mhm.
happening?
What's
They're
that?
they're one they're gonna go through withdrawals, and withdrawals is what we seeing. We seeing delusional withdrawals. No matter how I try to take them off of it,
Mhm.
it's going to happen because that's what you're
Right.
doing. You're shattering their perception of reality. You said this was
Yeah. It's like a breakdown, and then they have to rebuild. I get what you're saying.
she said I can take criticism. Ruth said I can take criticism as long as it's constructive criticism. That's all. And I get constructive criticism, but constructive criticism is only determined by the person that is for, um if it's constructive to them or not. Because I can mean it for constructive and then you say it's not. So
And what she said, I bet he can't take criticism without getting all out and mad. He is uncomfortable right now because there's a woman confronting him.
you see the sign language, right? You see the sign language that we deal with, that I deal with. That's straight sign language. Shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right. That's all sign language.
Hmm.
And I can't
I
talk
mean,
right because a woman's in my presence. What? Ma'am, what are you
well, I
saying?
think I think more like I was saying before. Women are more emotional.
Right. And that
We're
was an
we're we're,
emotional
we're more
response, what she just did right there. That
we're
wasn't
we're more
even
emotional creatures. So when we're when it's something that's negative about us, we don't want to receive it in a
do I sound
absolutely
am I
negative way.
mad right now? No, this is how I speak, lady. This is how
See,
I
that's why I
speak.
say that's why I say I know I
This
know
is how I
you. So
speak.
it's like
I'm speaking direct. And you might not like it because it's foreign to you that a man will speak to a woman so directly. That's what it
well,
is.
Miss that's Miss Ruth Wallace. Yeah, Miss Ruth Wallace. She I think what she's just saying is she wanted to be again, like I was saying, more comfortable to receive. And you were saying you don't do that no more. You used to do it, but you don't do that anymore. And a
Mm-mm.
lot of people will just receive it better. They
Okay.
just will. And I really think it's the majority. Like I
Okay.
said, that post you put up, I think it was constructed well. A lot of people may
And, s-
not didn't like
and
it, but
some
I think
people
if
would
you
say
look at
it
it the
could be
other way,
constructed even better. So do I
of
bang my
course,
head against
of
the
course.
wall to go to the fourth or fifth or sixth or seventh degree of constructive
Not if it's gonna
sentencing?
strain you. Not if it's gonna strain you.
Right.
If
So
that's
I'm just
not a
gonna
part of your
drop it and say it.
character, if that's not a part of your character, don't worry about it. There's a people for you. There's a people for you.
This is what gets me. Do I want to do you want someone to be honest, or do you want somebody to be semi honest? Do you want someone to
Honesty.
be do you want somebody to be in their own personal honest and be honest, personally honest? Or do you want a fabrication of honesty? Do you want somebody to listen to you, or do you want somebody to act like they're listening to you? Do you want somebody to nod their head and say, oh yeah, hmm. Do you want them to act like they listen to you, or do you want them to actually ask probing questions and then really
Mm.
understand what you're saying?
Well, I think
You
that'll
s-
be something for each
you see you
individual.
you understand what I'm saying? So what I'm
Hmm.
saying is each individual has their own understanding of what they want for them to in a conversation. right?
Mhm.
I have my own things that I want in a conversation. I think people should be honest. I think that's what's wrong with the world today. People
Honesty is
lack
good.
honesty. Honesty is the best policy, but not today. You can't be honest no more. You got to be a fabrication of honesty that is digestible, and that's not really real honesty. That is a fabrication of honesty. That is high fructose corn syrup honesty. That ain't real. That's what people want, and that's what I'm not gonna give them because I'm not that guy. You you
Right.
I'm gonna be
So
one of the
people just
realest
don't
people
want
you
people
know.
don't want rudeness.
This
Bottom
is
line,
not
people don't
rudeness.
want rudeness.
This is just straight up. I'm just telling the
I
truth.
get it.
The
I
truth
get
is
it.
rude. The truth hurts, especially when you're not
The
living it.
truth is definitely sharp. But I'm saying even with receiving the truth, people don't want someone giving it to them rudely.
I don't care what
That's
people
what I'm
want
saying.
when it comes to me telling the truth. I
If you
shouldn't
don't care
care.
what the people want,
I shouldn't care what people want.
you
They
do
don't
whatever
care
you
what I
choose.
want. They don't care that I want to tell the truth in the way that I want to tell it. Think about that. Think about it. You're asking somebody to tell the truth in the way that they
Hmm.
want me to tell it instead of in the way that I want. But I want to tell it the way I want to tell it. Why do I got to tell it like you want me to tell it?
And
They don't
that's
care.
absolutely
They're
fine.
selfish. That's called being selfish. People are selfish.
Like I say, my grandfather said, speak to people how you would want them to speak to you.
All right, and
Treat people how you
right.
would want them to treat you.
I want them to tell me the
So if
truth.
you're okay with somebody coming up saying to you
One more
what you
Christian
said to somebody
example,
else,
because I'm a
that's
Christian.
fine.
One more Christian example. Jesus.
Hmm.
Let's go to Jesus. Jesus, what he did was he went into the temple, saw the people was doing something wrong, robbing the people of God. And what did he do? He didn't say, please, everybody, stop robbing the people of God. No, he flipped over the doggone tables. And you say, you have turned, all he did was drop. He actually did some righteous indignation. You have
Hmm.
turned the house of God into a den of thieves.
Uh-huh.
Those same people that were turning the house of God into a den of thieves is going to see God on that day and be like, well, God, I would have stopped robbing the people if Jesus didn't turn over the table. If only if he didn't turn over the table, I would have acted right. If only you would have sent somebody else other than Jesus, I would have believed.
Hmm.
Last Christian example, Lazarus and the rich man.
Hmm.
Lazarus, when he died, he went to Abraham's bosom to heaven. The rich man, when he died, he went to hell. It was so hot, he was begging Lazarus to touch his tongue with water. He told Abraham, please, can you send Lazarus to come back from the dead and tell my brothers not to come to hell and be in this place? And you know what Abraham said? He said, no, I can't do that because it doesn't matter who goes, because I sent the prophets. I send different people say it different ways. It don't matter if I send Lazarus from the dead. They still not going to believe it. They're going to receive what they want to receive. That's what you get from that. It doesn't matter what people say or do. It doesn't matter how people are going to receive it in the way they're going to receive it. I might have the unction to say it a certain way, and I get that. That's between me and the God that I serve. He give me that unction, and I'll say it a certain way. Drop down the truth. I promise you, the only person that's going to make me flinch on how I say something is God, Jesus Christ himself. I
Hmm.
promise you, I'm not taking thought of what men might say or what men might think or how men are going to receive it. That's not my thought. My thought is, say it like this, God. Okay, I'm going to say it. Period. Stop. And it's going to end right there. That's my resolve. People get into the habit of trying to please people. I'm not trying to please people. I have one person to please, and that's God Almighty. I'm going to say the truth. He will take that truth, that seed that's been planted. He will bring somebody that cares about what people think. He will use them to water it. And then God ultimately gives the increase so it could grow. I don't increase nobody. I can't make anybody taller. I can't say words that will make anybody feel a certain way if they're going to feel what they're going to feel anyways.
Have you
Oh,
had anyone to come to you and say, um, that they appreciate the criticism that you're giving
Oh
them.
man, look. I've seen people that was like come to me saying, "Hey, keep doing it." Respectable men
No,
in the
not
community.
that part. Not that
Respectable.
part. I want to know someone who received criticism from you and said that basically it helped them change the outlook on something or change something in their life. Not just somebody saying keep doing it. Somebody that was actually affected in a positive way from it.
Some people have come in and said something to me. Said, "Oh yeah, I didn't see it that way. Oh, that helped me. I didn't understand that. That I see what you're saying." Plenty of people have done that. But the problem is, guess what? I don't even do it for that. I don't even
So
do it for
really,
people.
you don't care. Is that the bottom line? You
No,
don't
I
care.
don't do it for people's approval. The way I move, the way I act, the way I go and live this life, I don't do it for people's approval of me. Because if I did, I would say things differently. I would be like, every
What you say you have done in the past, correct?
right. I
Okay.
have. Done that. And I was working out and you know why I was so tired? Because I was
Mm,
working out my own self.
mm,
Myself was getting in the way of what I was supposed to do.
okay.
My resolve is one track. If people crying and fussing, oh, I can't believe he doing it. I'm not doing it for the cheers. I'm not doing it for a pat on the back. I'm not doing it for people to say, oh,
So
that's a good guy there. I'm not doing it for none of that. I'm not doing it for praise of people.
this is you're saying that this has been assigned to you by God to give out,
I'm
to
saying
drop
that
truth
I've been
in the
led
way
to
you're
do
doing
it. That's what I'm saying. I've been led to do it.
it.
That's
Okay.
what I'm saying. I've been led to do it. Like I don't do anything that I do in something like this. I don't just do it just because, oh, it's a Tuesday and I feel like doing it. No, I don't live my life that way. I don't. I have more purpose
See,
in
that's
my
how you
life.
know I'm goofy.
I don't listen. I don't listen. I don't live my life for the purpose of others. I live the life on
Mm,
purpose of one person in mind, God.
mm.
My purpose is bigger than my selfish needs. Of course, I want people to like me. Of course, that's just human beings. I want people to receive me in the way they're gonna receive me. This takes me shedding off who I want to be to for a greater purpose. Most people ain't gonna get it. Like my pastor say, this is for 52 people and a 12-year-old. It's all his fault.
Listen,
What
listen. People may not always like you said, but they may fall in love with the gift that you carry or how you do what you do. I've had that happen to me many a times to the point where you feel like you're being used for your gift only
right,
because they don't necessarily like you as a person.
right,
They just after the gift, oh, she can see this or she can do this or hey, can you come tell me? Next thing you know, they trying to use you like a fortune teller or something,
right. And I might
so
not do this for I might not do this for like every season brings new things. Like
right.
we trying to bring in summer clothes into winter season. No, you got to put away the summer
You
clothes and
should.
put on winter clothes. I might
There you
not
go,
do this
seasoning.
for 25 years. It's a season. There's a time and place for
Mm-hmm.
everything. I
Mm-hmm.
might go dark for 5 years and don't say anything and just be still.
Be
I don't
getting loaded,
move the way
reloaded.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
move in the way that people want me to move. I'm done with
Mm-hmm.
that. I didn't graduated from that. I don't do that anymore. I used to be trying to please everybody and care what people think. Oh, you saying this about me? Okay, let me change a little bit to this about. Oh, this person don't like this. Oh, let me change. And people live for the approval of others. I am done with that. I've come to live with one approval. I just need God to say, well done, my good and faithful servant. People
Okay.
might not, you probably went into the fire when you probably didn't want to go into the fire, but you were willing go into the fire when you didn't understand why you're going into the fire.
Mm.
That's all I want to know. That's all I want to do. I don't want to have to live in a state of trying to worry about what other people. It's so draining. It's so exhausting.
Oh, let me ask you this, Peter. Do you care how a person delivers truth to, let's say, your wife?
Do
Would
I
you
care?
care how? Would you care how a male delivers truth to your wife?
I believe that he should speak the truth, and that's it. I believe he should
Okay.
speak the truth because the truth will set us all free. That's it's
Mm.
just basic. It's just basic Bible. It's basic God principles that I'm talking about. Like we try to
I get the whole truth.
we
I
shy
get
away
that.
from the truth. Like
No,
that's the
I get the
problem.
truth.
Sometimes we hold back the truth to tell half truths so people can feel better. No, tell the whole truth. Sis, this is wrong. I mean,
Right.
what is what more should I can I say? Like, how can I say this is wrong by getting it across to her that it's wrong without making her feel that it's wrong? But I do want her to feel that it's wrong. You see how crazy that sound? That's really what people do on a day-to-day basis. I'm delivered from that. I've been delivered from that. God has delivered
Mm.
me from that thinking. Oh, I'm gonna
All
tell
right
you it's
then.
wrong, but I want to say it in a way that you don't feel that it's wrong, but I still want you to get that it's wrong. But it ain't wrong, but it still is. But I don't want you to be mad that it's wrong because it is wrong. You see how people do this, how people live their life. They don't even realize that's what they're doing on the inside. I'm delivered from that. That's why I say I get across people, a bunch of people that say, oh, you should change your tone. You should care about this, and you should care because other people might be feeling this. And they might be going through a hard day. I get all that. That's why I don't
Mm.
put emotion behind it because I could put a positive emotion. And you ever run across people that's just so pessimistic during that day, and you be like, "Hey, good morning," and they be like,
Mm.
"What's so good about it?" Oh wow, you ain't never met nobody that said that. Thank you. And all I said was good morning, top of the morning to you. What's so good about it?
Oh gosh.
Like
Mm.
you still say it. It's these little things that through the years God has taught me to don't care. I used to be. I used when I was living in New York City. I'm gonna tell this story, and we gonna kind of segue, and I'll let you say your last few words. When I was in New York City, and this before I got married, met my wife or whatever. I
Mhm.
used to be at a church, and I used to be one of the best dressed males at the church. You know,
Uh-oh.
I used to come in and they used to call me sweater vest because I always had a vest or a sweater on with tie and just everything looking nice. Always.
Okay.
Always. Partially because it was for the approval of the older folks because they like, how you dress, traditionally. And then the younger
Mhm.
people were like, oh, yeah, he dressed nice or whatever.
Mhm.
I even had a guy that tried to check me about the little weight thing. He used to come to me and be like, "Oh, how you get all these girls? You be telling them the scriptures?" I'm like, "Bro, are you serious?" Now I was like 22 at the time, 20, 21,
Mm.
22. And then,
Scriptures, huh?
but you know what I did? I was still serious about God. You think I sat on the back row so people could see me? I went straight to the
Mhm.
front row so I couldn't be distracted by nobody. And all I did was
Mhm.
up there was praising God and worshiping God. That's all I did.
Mhm.
So it really made them extra mad
Mm.
because I was serious about God and dressed like that. But see, I remember one day I lived on my own, and my first time having my own apartment being by myself, I was like 20, 22, 23, and I was in New York City. So this is my first time
Mhm.
I'm living on my own ever. And I remember one day I had a rough week and I had the unction. I know it was God telling me, just come in. Don't worry about
Mhm.
getting dressed up. Just come in.
Mm.
And I was like, but in my mind, I was like, I gotta dress because I don't want to offend the older people, but then I don't want the younger people to say, hey, what happened? Blah, 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 blah. So I'm doing all this, and God is telling me, come, just come.
Mhm.
Like, what's more important? Getting what you need to receive so you can be whole, or trying to do this whole circus dance. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I
Right.
came with some jeans on and a t-shirt. And I came and I went to the front row. And as I'm walking to the front row, one of the older guys said, "Why you dressed like that?" And I was like, "What you mean? I just coming to church. I just, you know." And he's like, "I'm glad you're not my grandson."
Mm.
I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Dang!" Like, so I was like, "All right." So I'm just, ignore it. Go further on after church. A few Sundays go by, and I'm dressing like that. And a young lady, an older lady, she was older than me. She said, but she was like 6 years, 7 years older than me. But anyway, so she said, "What's going on? You all right?" I said, "No, I'm good." I was like, "What you mean?" Like, "I'm good, seriously." She was like, and then another older lady came to me and said, "Oh, she's acting like that because you usually don't dress like that." So and and I told them, I said, "I'm no longer going to dress to please other people." And that was the beginning of shedding this kind of idea. And this was when I was 20 something. I'm in my 30s now. I'm 35 in a couple months. God has put me on a journey of shedding away what people want of me and do exactly what I'm supposed to know to do to be right, and
Mhm.
keep shedding off these layers of insecurities, and shedding off these layers of trying to live up to somebody else's standards and not the standard that God set before me, and
Mhm.
try to cater to other people's wishes of me instead of catering to God's wishes of me. Try to
Mhm.
cater to what people are saying that I should be doing instead of what God's telling me I should be doing, in spite of what people may think I should be doing or not. That's what has been happening to me this last decade of my life. God's been pulling back different things. I remember in high school, I had to be the best dressed, or at least one of the best dressed in school, because I wanted people to can look at me and say, "Hey, that guy can dress." At least, oh, that guy set trends. I used to set trends in school. God was pulling back the superficial things that I put on myself. He didn't put on me. I put on myself.
Mm.
And years of people saying this magazine saying I need to be this for this people, and this people saying I need to do this for that kind of people, and all this right here, because the way I think is a deep, complex way. I
Mhm.
took on all this, and I was putting on burdens on me that I wasn't meant to carry. And
Mhm.
a lot of times, that's why I say therapy is so important. A lot of times, people put on things that they weren't meant to carry. That's why God said in the Bible, "Take my yoke upon me, for it's easy, because my burden is light." Give me your burdens and take on the light. I feel so light. That's why it's this, well, you should be doing it this like this. And I'm like, no. No, because I'm like, you're not gonna make me put back on another burden when I just took it off.
Mhm.
Ain't no devil in
Yeah.
hell. Ain't my sister or brother, my cousin, my auntie, and them. They not gonna tell me to put on some more burden that I just took off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
If it's lighter for you.
It's
Mhm.
lighter for me, and I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm so relaxed. I feel good. And sometimes it saddens me for sometimes people respond to certain things I say. I'm like, I didn't mean it like that. I definitely, because I'm not that kind of person. I'm actually a kind-hearted person. And it's like, I
Mhm.
don't I don't mean it like that. Trust me, I don't mean it like that. I just mean to tell you it. And whatever
Right.
it happens, happens. But I don't mean to make you feel like you're lesser than, or I just mean to say, hey, this is the truth. If you feel lesser than, possibly there's something there. Possibly
Mhm.
you might need to get some help other than just reading Facebook every day, because it's all Facebook is word vomit.
Hmm.
That's all Facebook is, word vomit. You get so many things pulling you left and right with words. Will if you don't get some help soon, in the next 10 to 20 years of Facebook, you will see a rise of people in mental facilities. You already see a rise in people taking psych meds. There's a rise in that. I look at those statistics. It's because of those things. I will not, and I'm gonna say this, and that's gonna be it. I will not put on things that I done took off. I am delivered from the facade of trying to manipulate and to control people's perceptions of me. I'm going to be who I believe that I'm supposed to be and be truthful and be honest. Don't try to sugarcoat anything so people could take it in. And then after the sugar is off, after they took it in, they're going to vomit it out anyways. After the sugar's gone off the Sour Patch Kid, they spit up the Sour Patch Kid. I don't have time for that. I used to fight with people with that. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you don't understand. I'm trying to say it with so kind-hearted. Broke it down for you like a fraction. Nope.
So what I mean, Peter, if like you say, your goal is just to drop it and keep it moving. I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna leave it like that because if it's me and I gotta drop some truth, I want the person to at least get part of it. I mean, but I'm passionate about certain things, and
But
you're passionate about certain
how you
things
know
too.
they didn't get it?
You can tell. I mean, if you have a
Hmm?
conversation with that person,
Huh?
if you had a conversation with that person, I mean, you're doing yours by Facebook is all I know, man. You could be doing it in person too. I don't know, but if you have a conversation with that person or a reaction, you'll kind of know if they, they'll come and let you know, hey, I really appreciate that. It helped me a lot. Blah blah blah. You say you had some people come and say that. That's
Most
good. That's
people,
showing some growth.
most people are not going to come to me. You know why? It takes
Why?
humility to do that. Second of all, most people are in the stage of being planted seed. There's no fruit yet. There's nothing growing yet. You're just planting.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are in the stage of, because they're so tough and they have
Uh huh.
they're tough soil. You have to break up the soil and be tough. I need to break up. I can't just come with a regular garden hoe and just come in and just. I gotta get some real something to kind of break up the tough ground. Some people are just at the breaking up the ground stage. The seed ain't even plant.
All right.
Somebody else gonna come along that's not me and plant the seed. You might come along and say something on my post. That's why I encourage people that understand what I'm saying to break it down, come on the post, because when they come on the post, they might be watering or planting that seed.
Mm-hmm.
All I did was break up the soil.
Right.
We all in this
Yeah.
together. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna I'm not gonna plant the seed, water it, and then see it grow. I might not ever see it grow. Somebody else might see that grow because somebody
Absolutely.
else watered it or somebody else planted it. That's why I don't know what stage people are in. And that's why I was bumping my head against the wall, thinking that people are at the water stage or thinking people are at the growing stage when they
Mm.
just at the breaking up the soil stage. So I'm just gonna say it. God knows where people are at in their heart. I don't. God knows what his walk with them is. I don't. God knows what people need to hear when they need to hear it, even though they might not, quote unquote, receive it in the way they're supposed to receive it at this time, but they've heard it. They didn't receive it, but they've heard it. The word
Right.
has gone out, and the truth won't come back void.
All
I
right.
have faith in what can be done with speaking the truth.
Mm.
So I'm going to say it. People might not like it. I wasn't doing it for the likes anyways. So does it matter if they like it or not? Nope, because I wasn't doing it for that. Now, if I was doing it for that, it does matter if they like it or not.
Right. Right. Right.
You
Understandable.
see how tough that is? That's why I think I
I
think
can
differently.
understand your point of view. I can understand it. It's not hard for me to understand it.
It's just tough. It's
But
tough.
it's just that when you, my take, like I say, it depends on if you're trying to reach people. If you want to reach people in a positive way, all of that matters to me. But it, like you say, it might not matter to you, long as you just drop it and keep it moving. So everybody have a role.
No, it matters. It matters if it changes people. It does. But see, it doesn't matter enough to me to say I'm going to
Come on,
try
Peter.
to make it
We
change.
was
It does.
almost there.
No, it does. It does matter.
We was
I,
almost
I
there.
don't do this for nothing. I don't do this for just
You said
because.
it. You say I just dropped the truth and go. It don't matter. I
Right,
ain't
but
trying to
I
say.
don't drop the truth for nothing. I pray that it will set them free. I talk about it all the time.
Okay.
I pray that the truth will set them
That's good
free.
to hear. That's good to hear.
I pray that the truth will set them free because that's why I share the truth. So someone can be set free. But what I'm
Mhm.
not gonna do is try to tailor or manipulate the truth in such a way that I think personally people will want to hear it. So I can try to manipulate outcomes. It's almost like being at a church service and people raise their hand. Oh, you not saved? Oh, I see their hand there. Oh, raise their hand. Okay. Oh, we're all gonna say it with you. Blah 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 blah. You see what I'm saying? We try
Mhm.
to manipulate outcomes, and God only knows. Yes, it's good to say it, but at that moment, you can't say that person then gave themselves over to God. Only God knows that
Mm.
until you see the fruit of that labor. That's when you can say, I see the fruits, and you will know them by those fruits. At this point, I don't see no fruits because we just in the beginning of the planting stage. I don't see no fruits. And if there is some fruits, it takes humility to express that I'm a fruit.
Mm. Mm.
And do I do it for people to come to me and tell me that they're fruit? No. I don't do it for
Okay.
nobody's approval. Only for one. Not even my own. Not even
Mm.
my own wishes and wants. I want people to know the truth as soon as I drop it. And it set them free as soon as I drop it. But that's not realistic. God takes that truth that's been said and he will put it on a loop in somebody's mind. It had nothing to do with me.
Mm.
It's what his work that he's trying to do, not my work that I'm trying to do. Because if it was my work that I'm trying to do, I'd be trying to, hey, let me tell you this. And I'm gonna say exactly like this because I think this is what you want to hear and how you want to hear it. You see what I'm saying? That's me putting myself in there. I don't want to put myself in there. That's how stuff get messed up. And that's how people put so much, that's how people hold people in high regards more than they should. Like I res-
If we touch on that subject, we will be here till next week.
yeah, but
So
let's get out of here. Let's get out of here.
if we touch on that, we gonna be here the next week because I'm about to
Yeah,
unload
let's
on you.
get.
But let me just say this. I encourage people, and this is just from self experience, to review the criticism report.
Mhm.
Um, I review it before I accept it because I've learned that people will, like I said earlier, pick out things to set you back.
Mhm.
Also, use your intuition and discernment because once you evaluate yourself, if they're making a valid point,
Mhm.
then the criticism will turn into advice to you. It won't even feel like advice. Like, okay, that was awesome. That was great. You won't even feel attacked or anything like that if you evaluate yourself first, and you will find yourself taking them for such correction. That's my thing.
Yeah, and yeah,
Review the criticism.
that's good. And to be honest, I take criticism depending just like anybody else, depending
Mhm.
on what I'm going through that day, depending on at the time I hear something. Because it could be said with the lightest intentions, but because I was talking to somebody at work and they said something that kind of rubbed me wrong, I didn't receive it in the way that I was supposed to receive it. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I get I take criticism, in the way that anybody else. Sometimes I kind of like, oh, that hurt. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, that didn't feel too good. I take criticism the same way. And I might not even get it today. And what you saying to me, sis, what you saying, I in the future, it probably the fruit will grow. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not dismissing anything you're saying. I believe you're saying what you're saying for a purpose. It could be for
Absolutely.
me, it could be for people that's watching. Maybe it's something that God is trying to show them. This is how I
Mm-hmm.
see and perceive the world. I perceive that things are for a purpose. I don't just get up and just say, okay, let's do this. You see what I'm saying? I get up and be like, okay, what can I do to be used in an unexpected way? And that's why I live my life in that kind of way. So yeah, I would people plant seeds with me all the time, and
Right.
eventually it will grow. Whatever it should be, it could be, hey, I thought it was supposed to be this kind of tree, but somebody else water it. Come to find out, it's this tree. It bear this fruit. I don't even
And
choose
at the
I
end
don't
of the
even
day, we
choose
had
the
to help one
seed.
another.
Right. I don't even choose the seed though, sis.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even choose what's being planted. I'm given the seed and then I plant it. I don't even choose what kind of seed it is. I don't know what kind of tree is gonna grow. That's not my way to judge.
Hmm.
God chooses the seed. All my job is to plant it.
Just plant the seed and keep it moving.
That's
Like
it.
I say, there's an audience for you. There's an audience for me. There's an audience for
Right.
us
That's what I'm saying.
all.
Everybody is
For
where
us
they
all.
need. Everybody will be who they need to be for who they need to be it for. But I do want to encourage people to step into their purpose, to come forward into their purpose. Sometimes people's purpose are attached to other people's purpose. If you're not getting to your purpose, and that's
Mm-hmm.
why I need to drop this truth so you can get it and it can set you free, and then you can go forward and move forward into your purpose. It's gonna be not easy to hear. It ain't gonna be the
Mm-hmm.
most intriguing thing to hear. Anything that is worth having ain't easy to get. But I promise you, if you hold
Definitely true.
on to what I'm saying, change is coming. And I promise you gonna like the end result. If you stay tuned, it's not to hurt you, it's not to destroy you, it's to make you stronger. It's to help you to elevate. What I share is not to kill you, it's not to destroy you, it's not to interrupt your day in a negative way. It's to interrupt the bad things that you might be doing, or the bad habits that you might be occurring during the time when you're just wandering. We got a lot of people that wander life, trying to wake people up so they can go to their purpose, because everyone has a purpose. And it's your job to find out what it is. It's my job to tell you the truth so you can break some bad habits to get to your purpose. That's all I can say. All right. So I appreciate you coming on the show tonight. The
Thank
divinity,
you for
Vinny.
having me.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm
Thank you
I'm
for
trying to
having
do
me.
this every Wednesday around this time. Um, it gives me, so I used to do it, a couple times a week, but now I'm trying to, you know, pace myself and you know,
Absolutely.
um, and but yeah, stay tuned. There's gonna be some more wild stuff you're gonna hear from me.
It's
It's gonna
gonna
be
be
wild.
some more, and I believe that. I believe that. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. Tell
All
your
right then.
wife and your family I said hola, and your father and your mother.
Okay. All
Thanks
right.
for having me.
Will do. You take
All right.
care. Be safe. All right.
Thank you.
All
You
right
too.
then. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. So that's here we have it, folks. That's all we got for tonight. I hope something was said that was shared that might bless somebody, that might show somebody and set somebody free. Um, all I'm here is to do is to share the truth. I don't want anybody to feel like that I'm doing this out of bitterness or doing this out of strife. I'm not doing out of it, none of that. Trust me. This ain't bitterness. I can show you bitterness, or I can fabricate bitterness for you. It ain't gonna be nice. But no, I'm doing this out of just trying to get you to the truth. It's up to you to get it, to set you free. I can't set you free with the truth. All I can do is let you know the truth. It's up to you to get it and set yourself free with it. It's your choice. It really is your choice. But I urge you to take the red pill. And if you work on your mind, then the body will follow. Until we meet again.